blasted my ears. That would have been sort of funny.
Not hurt your ears.
Yeah, I mean, would it have been?
I mean, not for me.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Boop. Oh, might as well. Like the face cams are. Might as well.
There we go.
Post here. There. Oh, fudge. Helps if I post there as well. And boop. And boop.
No! Oh my god, that's heavy.
And on that note, hello everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and this is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and we are playing the game known as Halanak Station, a Star Trek Adventures TTRPG adventure. And last we left off, someone dreamed a dream far in the future, but we wind back to Stardate 60571.1 to a 3 threats game. We snap to the Da Vinci Bridge. And, Seirana, you're on the bridge where you were down in the med bay.
Mm-hmm.
And you suddenly find yourself, upon the bridge, you see that the Da Vinci has moved into the path of an incoming nuclear missile. And then a huge impact occurs, shaking the ship, causing a breach, and it's on that sort of moment that you, everything from before floods back to you.
So I've just been made aware of everything that happened, in everything that happened in the hours since I remember this event occurring.
Yep.
Okay.
You see Ryloff's negotiating with people, trying to get people to calm down, and
where is the Captain Rylov right now, or the Captain Thralic right now?
in medbay, according to the computer.
Awake?
The computer confirms that that subject is indeed awake.
Okay. Yes, I will help with the diplomatic wrangling and yelling in order to avoid a firefight, and then once that's over, I need to have a meeting with the Captain Frolic and the Captain Rylov immediately.
Well, if you watch as Captain Star Serena kind of goes through the negotiations, and it's with a certain level of control and preparation you're not used to seeing in Opentari. Opentari tend to be fairly impulsive by nature. At least Seirana is, but Seirana is like most Opentari. Solidarity, after all. But yeah, this is Seirana seems very it's almost recitation, not spontaneity. But it gets the job done.
Odd.
And once there's a moment's break, she, like an appendage, grabs you by the arm and she whispers in your ear, "Something important has happened. Meet me in the conference room with Captain Thralic at your soonest convenience." And
Captain
I will...
Thralic is incapable of leaving the quarantine area.
Centurion, Mila cries out. We've temporarily lost shielding in the medical bay. What? Sorry, stand by. He taps at the screen, at our panel for a second. The chronometer radiation's gone. There's none leaking out. There's none inside the system. I just did a diagnostic. It looks like it just vanished.
Verify that the persons were still in the quarantine area.
All persons accounted for, sir.
I'm trying to remember. What did we do to solve this last week?
Well,
Touch tentacles.
yeah.
Okay.
You acted as a bridge between someone who was in control and not, and then you helped them synchronize. To
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Okay. That. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So I'm in Groundhog Day right now. Okay. Um. It's what, an engineering role to get the shields back up.
Those came back up from medical, actually.
Yeah, they just flicker back on. As the
So
minute you
the
start
shields
getting ready
are
to do
back
it,
up?
it's already being done by someone in medical bay.
Centurion Rylov, you are a temporal officer, are you not? Wait, do I know that? Or am I metagaming?
I
You
think you
ended
knew
up
it by the end
knowing
of last
that.
session, at least.
You
Maybe.
knew that at the end of last session, not
Okay.
during last session.
Yeah, but,
So she is going to take you completely by surprise, and once shields are restored, she is going to say into your ear, "You are a temporal officer, are you not? I believe we have a temporal incident on our hands."
Lovely.
If we cannot have Frolic join us, I would request that we loop her in via a video call. This is a moment of great importance. And
Clear your room, Serrano.
thank you. Okay.
Arius, take the bridge. Continue keep the quarantine up while science verifies and re-verifies. We don't want to be letting anything past us in that regard.
Sir?
That is the conference room, not the radio room, Serrano.
Well, when I meant that room, but sure, okay. I will slide my way into this room. It doesn't matter.
Well, it's private. I mean,
Yeah.
the refresher's right there.
Yes, we're just from here. It's far less to worry about, and there's screens and whatnot, so it's just.
I guess
But
the weird thing about this layout, though, is that you have to go through. If the captain is in the ready room, they have to go through the bathroom in order to get into the conference room.
Well, they want to wash their hands first.
It's just a sink, yeah.
Okay. She is going to.
Now, I'm pretty sure these are turlets back here.
That
They
one
are,
is,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, I assumed this was a private bathroom as well. But yeah, she's going to summon Throlic on comms on the screen, and sorry, I keep zoning out. Once she's on screen, I am going to say, I appear to be caught. I appear to have had my memory sent back. Last I recalled, these events happened to me several hours ago. I appear to have been plucked out of where I was and put in where I am and put into where I was.
before I say anything, GM, what was I able to do when I came to awareness?
You came to awareness as you were you were reestablishing the shields, and then it occurred to you, why are you putting the shields up? There's no chronoton radiation where you are. The warnings have stopped flashing. The quarantine's still up, but there's no alarms that there's chronoton radiation where you are. And you see a bunch of patients kind of getting up off the ground, and between Dr. Tamina and the EMH, they're kind of moving around, checking on everyone, make sure everyone's stable. And that's when you realize what is to come. And that's when the call came
Serrano,
from
you're not the
Serrano.
only one.
You remember the future?
A future. I remember having a consciousness split across multiple timelines. I think we may be experiencing ramifications of that.
Do you remember what happens to the station?
Yes.
We have to stop that from happening. The
Agreed.
people of the planet are expecting us to defend them.
We must.
Um,
However, we must also understand why this time is different. We're not experiencing any chronoton radiation down here in sickbay, and that wasn't my doing.
So clearly
Okay.
things have changed because of our actions, but why? Did our actions work in preventing the chronotons, but only work upstream of time, as it were? They worked, but only after what happened before, in actuality before, or after? And she gets very confused and furrows her brow.
I am missing several steps here.
Okay. Oh God.
The captain of the stars, and I have foreknowledge, approximating 2 hours in the future, of a divergent timeline in which the station falls out of orbit and subsequently blows up. Our chronoton radiation problem was exacerbated severely in that time stream and spread from the patients to the ship. This necessitated the calling in of Rear Admiral Trailblazer to attempt an assist. The assist was delayed when additional information led us to attempting a sort of a mind meld between Seirana and myself to realign the. And that's where Thralic just cuts off for a second. To realign things properly.
Okay.
And then at the end, for reasons I do not believe we fully understand, the space station opposite us in space exploded and began crashing down towards the planet.
Was precipitated by a sub-detonation of a portion of the station.
Yes. Theoretically, that could be the doing of our detective, but I cannot know that for sure.
Well, if the danger of the chronoton radiation and the subsequent, or the afflictive fracturing that was causing it is dealt with, then more effort any effort can be put to attempting to reestablish contact than simply reacting. Captain,
Agreed.
does medical concur that the situation is presently resolved?
I will check with them.
If such, then it is your ship.
Reason medicine difficulty 1, assisted by computers medicine. The one thing I'll note, you do still have a breach to structure, because that event still happened.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 3 breaches to structure?
No.
Okay.
Don't make it worse than it was. Please.
Well, no, not like 3 breaches directly to structure, but 3 breaches including 1 to structure. Because I remember I prevented at least 1 breach in the previous.
Yeah, and then I spent a bunch to force a second. To pop the shields.
Force through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was 2.
Got it.
I'm guessing you want not you to do that roll.
Yeah, no. My
You're-
reason medicine is my worst role.
Let me grab.
We have an
the,
EMH down here. We also have, I guess, Lieutenant Tamena also is down here.
yeah, she's awake again. Dr. Tamana. Yeah.
Benzio's still unconscious.
Is he still unconscious due to fracturing complications?
That has not been determined medically.
Yeah, soon. Which I'm guessing either a focus in potentially triage or advanced medical research.
Triage.
Yeah. I said triage first because it seemed more appropriate. What was the difficulty again?
1.
1.
A 1 and a 2.
We'll acquire a trait here for an extra die. And does the trait attentive do anything?
It'll pull the diff down to 0.
Okay. Oh wow.
5 generated.
All right.
So Tamina does a quick check-in with medical staff and the EMH and is able to determine that everyone within the area has had a sudden is feeling some of the aftershock of having experienced intense chronoton radiation. Ven still has seems to be in some sort of coma, but chronoton radiation doesn't seem to be the issue anymore. His F level is currently 0.
Okay.
And as is Throlix, because she examines her as well. Whereas other people don't have and 0 is like 0 point something. Like it's a insignificant, it's above absolute 0, but it's so low, so minimal that it's not worth giving a full numeral to.
Okay. Well, all right then. I will see if medical will clear me for active duty again, and if so, I'll head up to the bridge.
For
right,
momentum, Tamina can do a quick. You can see if Tamina clears you.
Sure. So you said
A momentum.
a moment.
It's just asking a question. It's like, am I good? Like, yes, you're good.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Sarana? Sorry.
I was going to roll for Tamina if you were going to call for a roll. That's all.
Okay, diff 5, complication 10. No.
Yeah, you actually
10?
have you have lingering after effects of being in the Shackleton that
Uh-huh.
I'd start writing letters to your loved ones.
Wow. Okay.
You heard the phrase "Walking Dead."
The TV show?
Bold of you
none.
to assume I have loved ones.
Oh, you have at least
Aw.
one. What are you talking about?
Had.
She's out there somewhere. I choose to believe. Wait, wrong franchise. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, so spent that.
Yep. And to me, it's able to bring down the lockdown because there's no reason to quarantine anymore.
All right.
So she is studying things still because that's weird.
Yeah. Doctor, keep Ensign Ven under observation. There's, as far as we know, every chance this could pop back up.
Quarantine field goes back up around Ven.
Yep.
Well, his bed anyway, but still.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then if there's no other tests you need to run, Doctor?
None.
All right. And Falk leaves sickbay to head up to the bridge.
Is there anything else from you, Sarana?
No, no. I think we covered the most important details. Right now we have to strategize a way to prevent the ship, the station from exploding, because we don't have much time, and I can't imagine consequences if it did.
We will see what can be done, if anything can be done. Within limitations as suggested by the Temporal Prime Directive.
Very well.
That would take a long time to explain, so I won't.
I mean, she knows what the Prime Directive is. She can make an inference about what the Temporal Prime Directive is.
Yes, but Sarana also has been incredibly inquisitive, so it seems likely that a "what's that?" would follow.
No, I'm not gonna push myself too far. You like to keep your secrets.
Certain meme here.
I didn't even mean to do that.
A new scene rolls about as Rear Admiral Pend steps out of the chamber, having made his case as to why the Da Vinci is in fact doing its job and promising on his pips, on his bars actually, because you are the Rear Admirals get to wear little bars with the pips. I presume you collect them again when you leave the floor.
I'd leave them with the presiding speaker, so they know, like, with the discussion that they're having, they're still visible.
Having noted it to one of the staff, one of them will they tell one of the regular staffers for the assembly lets you know that they won't be able to bring it up into the presiding speaker's pod, but they can put it on like a pedestal where it's viewable in the area below. So if you want to do that, still, we just can't bring it up to him. We're not allowed to go up to where he is when he's in session. So they'll set up like a little table and put the bars there. It's not like there's any other decorations in that circle, so. Yeah, stepping out of that assembly hall, you seem to convince a good chunk of them. And as I recall, you did spend for quite a few advantages, so a lot of the entirety of the assembly seems to be giving you a lot of latitude here. So long as the Da Vinci doesn't cause any new problems, or get involved in any new problems, more accurately, that should tide them over. You don't think they'll be bothering the Da Vinci or you for a while.
As we were just nuked.
Yeah.
The Da Vinci wouldn't screw something up.
No.
Where does Penn go as he's without his bars and kind of not have any pending, so as it were, tasks at hand? I'll alert you that the Wilson R. Abbott's coming back for you. Like, they're going to turn around and come back to meet up with you. Because they're the closest ship that's not assigned to anything in particular. Because the Harpo is doing stuff, and the Stavanger is way too far away. Unless you're going to jump on, like, some personal civil craft. I imagine you're going to wait till the Da Vinci comes back before your proceedings are done.
Yeah, I'd wait till the proceedings and the Da Vinci's back so I can at least talk to Thralic in person.
Yeah.
And
the Abbot doesn't mind waiting about a bit, because that's... He's the lead ship of his task force, but he can send ships around to do stuff. He doesn't have to be present all the time.
I think for now, apart from waiting to see if anyone's willing to give me any leads or just tying up loose ends, I don't need to go back to the office. I'd just be sat in the bar.
Give me Insight Security difficulty of 2. Assisted by station's computer security, as you kind of put some feelers out to see if there's anything your staff knows, or station staff knows, about the case. This also will include reaching out to the Harmonizer's office, because they're the other half of security, frankly.
Diplomacy?
How do you feel diplomacy works?
No, I've just thrown it out there.
I'll help you know then.
I'll give you a threat.
Certainly. The station might get some. Likely will. The stats are pretty high.
Yeah, I'll just grab it now.
Grab it by the tentacles. Shake it.
Looks like I'm going to have to spend for a reroll. I will spend a value towards. I am the calm in the storm. This is going to be I'm remaining calm while searching for information going forward for Jaishu.
I'll take that. That's reasonable.
Yeah, you did that.
That's your 2. You get some. The amount that Starflight knows is you kind of confirmed that the information you've been told so far is the sum of what Starfleet currently knows. But through the Harmonizer's office, they have they're able to give you some tips about criminality and smuggling routes that have occurred within the that are supposed to be happening in the Shackleton. You learned that there was someone reported an incident about a sector forward of you, near the I forget the name of the settlement, near the Enduring Friendship project. There was some sort of detonation or explosion that occurred that no one can really make sense of, but some of the harmonizers are kind of theorizing that maybe someone dared into a nebula and found out the hard way why one doesn't fly into nebulas like that. And I'll be right back. I have returned. Oh god, maybe not. I'm okay. I'm not breaking anything, I swear. Yes. So there was the detonation in the in that nebula. There's also some rumors from being in that you kind of hear about in the office that some captains, like civil freight captains, have heard rumors that there's some higher paying jobs in the at the edge of the Beta Quadrant in Klingon space. But a lot of people are lamenting that it's really out of their way because most of the people are coming to Halanak are coming here via the Federation star bases. There's Narendra and there's another one that's a little more forward. So you can either go down through the recent colonies to Narendra or through Enduring Friendship and then keep going to another starbase. But if you're going like rimward, like way out there, it's way out of your way. It's sectors are out of your way to go that way. But, you know, some people are talking about it. They've heard rumors. And your security mind kind of lets you know that that may be the preamble of more criminality at the edges of the Klingon Empire, which may or may not be involved. But your instincts tell you it likely is.
But yeah, like I said, I'll be focusing on that until or unless anyone like reaches out to Penn specifically.
Not as yet. Thus, we have a new scene out to the station. Oh yes. Need to bring as Kovic, you had the ninth analyst behind you. You notice this strange new person who looks to be of similar species to the analyst and the soldier, but they are not as attired as they are, and they look like they were. You kind of had your standoff for a bit, and that's when it escalated rather quickly. When soldier basically, because the new person basically was saying some rather inflammatory things, and
There was no god.
and that's when second soldier basically jumped out and tried to kill her, and that's when combat begins.
We still in that situation?
We are. You are the first to move in that the engagement kind of started between the new contact and Type A here and second soldier. They're kind of crossing blades and trading shots with each other at a rapid speed.
Okay. Then I will quickly tell Ninth Analyst, complete the mission, find the information we're looking for. That's the most important thing. And then I will turn and kind of move to the periphery here, and in I don't know, my best world weary commanding voice, say, both of you stand down, and try and
Present security difficulty of 4.
okie dokie. Let me see if any of these. Nope, I do not think so. Okay. Just since it's the start of the scene, real quickly, quick survey. Did I see any weapons laying about, just in case?
On the various bodies of the people in this room, their twisted forms. Among the twisted forms are a variety of swords, axes, scythes.
Okay, good to know. So yes, Can I use kinesics, xenokinesics as a focus? Like, my body language is very, I've had it with you people. You need to calm down.
You're trying to make it easily
Landing.
understood, yeah. You're
Yeah,
going to cross species. Yeah, you can do that.
Ooh, okay, I'll toss this one at you. How about the trait of Ioshan, specifically the natural proclivity for imitation, to kind of lean into their own body language? And
I'll let you shave off a difficulty on that explanation. That works.
okay. Hard-boiled detective, because I have a damn attitude.
It doesn't seem to phase them.
Okay, so we got difficulty down to 3. Present security is not too bad. So I will give you 2 momentum and 1 threat for 4 dice, if I remember how to play this game right. Okay.
So 2 momentum.
Yes. There it goes. Well, I hit it with 1 gain, so I think because this is could get out of hand so terribly easily, I'll use the League of Harmony, League of Momentum, to ignore a single complication.
Very good.
1 gained.
Roll for me 7 challenge dice. See how persuasive your argument is.
I just want to succeed. I'll spend that momentum to reroll 3.
Mm-hmm. I will say that it looks like the new contact seems willing to break fighting, but there is some resistance from second soldier from fighting. I as they only seem to be barely paying attention to you.
Okay. Will you take 2 threat for a swift?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2 threat for a swift. And I'll say, second soldier, do not sacrifice the mission for some personal vendetta. And try again.
You killed them all! Ah! You should listen to him. Parry.
So do I get to roll again?
You do, yep. So
Okay.
diff 5.
Same thing to bring it down 1 to 4?
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. Wonder, since those don't fit. I've already spent that one. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a ton of threat for a full minute. So 3, 4, 5, 6, I think.
Yep. 6 is the full.
That's what I'm talking about right there. I have to get 4. I'm 3 there, so let me see if I've got a milestone that will fit in this. So could I spend towards directive? I'm basically trying to save the system and whatever else from this fracture. I don't know what our directives.
Oh, they're in the pins currently.
Oh. What are our directives? Scroll.
This is such a cool map.
Take it.
Prime directive, assist and protect and build relations. Okay, in theory, assist and protect and build relations.
Yeah.
Stop fighting so we can figure this out. Okay. To reroll 3. Seriously. Well, I got it. With 1 floating out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I just what? I will just have to live with whatever that complication winds up being.
That will increase a second soldier's resistance. They find you. Well, actually, they're not so much mad at you. They're very, very angry at the condescending smirk on their opponent.
Oh, for good lord, people.
So 7 challenge days. Resistance you're aware of is currently 6.
6 resistance?
Yeah, second soldier
Wow.
really wants to kill this person.
That's insane. I'll spend that momentum for piercing. If that does any good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 raw. You add a 2 off the 3, so it turns to 5. Yep. Some more blows kind of cross between them as they slowly start backing off. But you notice instead of second soldier pressing the attack, they're just trading shots for a second as they're getting out of each other's fighting range, and then eventually it's there's this pressure where they're both holding their weapons out at each other, and then the new person kind of looks over at you and kind of shrugs in your direction. Second soldier kind of looks over at you and sighs, and just kind of, they both sheathe their weapons.
Right. Kovic lights a dope stick.
So I'm just gonna... No.
Yeah.
With incredible speed, the new contact kind of steps into the analyst's way. We're not done talking. I was just gonna... You were going to go through the files. I understand that. But, no. We have to come to an agreement.
It's all right, Ninth.
Uh,
Just hang for a minute. Anybody want a cigarette? Sorry, dope stick.
Everyone looks at you puzzled. Get the feeling that didn't translate at all.
Okay, well. Right. So, I explained why we were here to try and prevent a time dimension something fracture that is way above my science knowledge by finding a place to take a group of infected people where the fracture can heal itself because something similar has already happened or the dimensions are very close together. And
That explains why you're here. That doesn't explain why these two are here.
I brought them with me. They thought that this base might be a good place to find the data we needed, and it looked like a better shot than the quote-unquote hell on the under the planet's surface. So we came here. These two, as well as some of their companions, we removed from another planet where first we believed their presence was harming the indigenous life forms. We haven't figured all that out quite yet, but that's how they came to be on our ship.
Soldier seethes, and you can see that her hand's constantly flexing on the weapon that she has. She's keeping it sheathed, but it's very obvious she wants to continue fighting. She's struggling not to fight right now. Analyst speaks up and says, "We're on the same side after all. We just need to... We are not on the same side. I didn't go down to a planet and murder countless billions. I didn't come back to the very place that orchestrated that to do it again. He didn't do that."
All right. This seems like a lot of past history. Am I correct that this happened long ago?
Many rotations of the star, yes.
Right. Well, today, there's an entirely new sentient species populating Titara. They are incredibly nice and incredibly gorgeous, and currently under threat from the potential time fracture, which can do Lord knows what. They're also not particularly happy with seeing Second Soldier and Ninth Analyst and their companions. I'm perfectly willing to hear both sides of this issue. That's actually part of my mandate out here as an investigator, to figure out whether or not Second Soldier and their companions are an existential threat to the in theory. But for now, my goal is to stop the fracture, if at all possible, so that then there's time to sort out the rest of this incredible mess. I could really use your help with that.
Presence command, difficulty 2. Complication is increased by 1 because Second Soldier is just constantly seething, and it's putting Type A a little on edge, but a little distracting from the conversation.
12. Okay.
Actually, Ninth Analyst will help, because why not? Oh, they help.
Oh, very good. Could I spend a milestone from, oh, please now, why won't you grace me when I used a value to get information from a harbinger?
Yes!
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I just saw something in Discord and it just caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did it?
A bit, yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh. Do we generate a momentum off that assist?
As long as Kovac hits.
I mean, I think he's trying to.
Hey, you know,
That was in
Everybody
theory.
everybody likes a Kovic sandwich from time to time.
God's almighty.
So what was my difficulty again?
500 now, just out of spite now. It was 3.
Evil. It's 3. Okay. Kinesics again.
Yep.
Okay. And let's get the one there. Intuitive, because I'm kind of leaning on what appears to be this species' kind of base focus on preventing bad things from happening to good people. Whether their viewpoints on what good people are change.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of intuiting. Okay, that brings it down to 2.
Ooh.
So all right, once again, let me just give you a bunch of threat. I'll give you 1 threat for 3 dice. Ah, finally, Kovic. It looks like we gain 3.
Sure
We-
does, if my Roll20 will cooperate and actually not freeze like it is doing right now.
Haha, you lived in a dream world.
Very well, then, Bar Traveler. If you wish to peruse this murderer's computer bank, then you're free to. These 2 aren't touching a thing, or I will cut their hands off. See you try. I was going to. Let's not start that again. We're all okay with Mr. Kovac here doing that, aren't we?
Yes. I don't suppose these will be able to display things in any sort of language I can understand.
She kind of walks up to you. Second soldier kind of steps into the way.
Oh, for goodness sakes! It's okay. Type A can approach.
Watching you. Yes, yes. She stares at you. The silvery body just kind of shimmers into focus a little bit more as the skin changes from the metallic into an Iosian hue that you're familiar with. A facial shape you're familiar with. Very generic female with long hair. She just continues to stare at you.
It's been a long time among slimes and amphibious slimes.
The computer should recognize you. Though you don't know, you are likely familiar with it through imitation. I don't think your people were made familiar with this language until recently, but you should understand it.
Fair enough. Any particular terminal or access point I should use?
Any of them will be fine, really. I mean, the main control one up on the top is going there, but that would have the most access. He points to the end of the hall. You can see like there's this large platform.
I look at Type A and go, "May I?"
You may. You two stay.
Okay.
moves. She moves.
Okay, so
You climb up to into this raised area, and you can see that there is the remains of what looks to be a person, except it's they're crafted in silvery metal. And there's a computer that they look like they were trying to reach at, but they were struck at while they were trying to crawl toward it.
I thought that was what it was on top of the dais, like some sort of crystalline coffin over a mummy or something. About to ask how I can access this. I'll kind of gently step over or move aside the body.
You see a control panel with a series of circles and rings, and the rings seem to have circles on them.
Do I have any idea of what any of this might mean?
Insight, science, or difficulty of 3. This vaguely looks like something you saw in a classroom long ago, but it is a struggle to remember what this is.
Okay. Trait of intuitive.
Sure. Diff 2.
Okay. Don't think any of my focuses will apply here. Insight science is not terrible. 3 momentum. Just for super insurance, take all 3 of those momentum for 4 dice. Okay. So gain 2.
You're able to sort it out eventually. You recall it being a supposed language from Earth of angelic script, and the Iosians, being Iosians, studied everything about Earth, especially when the Federation gave them a bunch of stuff a century ago, less than a century ago. This is one of those invented languages. At least it was on Earth. Iosian studied it just out of sheer, here's one of many cool languages that Earth has. Your church has tried to do this, but it's a very unwieldy lettering and language, mainly because it was never really used. But you're able to kind of intuit that's a control, that's enter, that's the command mouse area, if you know what I mean. Like, it's where you can move around cursors and stuff. You can kind of pick your way through the keyboard, but it's a lot of, high school level, like remembering a language you studied once because you needed the credit. It's like, I'm no linguist, but I can kind of guess what this means.
Does it have a voice control mode?
You do, like, you say a couple of key phrases that generally most voice computers will respond to. Usually computer's a great start, but
right.
It says something, and then it starts cycling through them, and then eventually it goes somewhere where your translator can catch it. And then, is this language sufficient?
Yes, thank you.
What is your query?
I need information regarding the location of recent temporal spatial fracture events, or locations in relatively nearby space where such events are more likely than elsewhere.
Displaying. You see a holographic display appear around the console in a sort of semicircle, and you can see the Shackleton. You can see a variety of points being spread out across this 3-dimensional panorama. And
I
then
look
you
back
see, and then you
to-
see it highlight where you are.
I look back to Type A. Do you mind if I get in contact with my ship and share this information?
I'm sure the people, command and control, would greatly mind you sharing the secrets of their tower, but as you can see, they can't really stop you. I don't mind. You heartless. We're not supposed to be fighting.
Computer, establish communications with Starship designated Da Vinci A, currently in orbit of this station.
And we cut back up to Da Vinci. Ralph, you step out, and Throg, you step out. Seirana, you step out. New scene, by the way. As you are being hailed by the station.
On screen.
Oh, things have changed. There. You see Kovic appear with a with a starry background of the planet below him, over his shoulder.
Harmonizer.
Are you okay, Kovic?
Did we lose Kovic?
Oh my God! Of course, I was muted. That never happens.
Uh-huh.
Captain, should you be out of sick bay?
The situation appears to have mysteriously resolved.
Kovic like walks out of the screen view again, and you hear, "For fuck God, ugh. You're fucking kidding me." Well, okay,
We're
then
no
I guess
longer experiencing chronoton radiation.
do we still need the location of some time fracture things?
Unknown, but it wouldn't hurt. Unless it would.
Right.
I don't know.
Lieutenant Venn is still unconscious.
Oh, have you
We're
tried the
unsure
Vulcan
if it's from the
slapping method?
same cooperative.
Never mind.
I'm not sure if Dr. Domeno would approve of that methodology.
Right. So, computer transmit data on location of fracture events and locations to the Da Vinci A.
You get a report from Arias that you're getting a massive data packet coming in from across the communication signal.
Oh. I'll ask the lieutenant, is it reasonable for our computers to parse?
He needs to roll Reason Engineering, difficulty 1. This is typical computers engineering. He's not sure.
Alright. Someone want to grab Arias? Take that as a no.
Yeah, I'll roll it real quick.
Okay.
Where is he? Here he is.
Yeah, grab Arias by his shiny bald head and just shake him.
They forgot to put like the stage makeup on the actor this day, so you can really see like the shine of the stage lights directly off of his head.
Look, sometimes those Delton pheromones are just working in overdrive.
Yeah.
Wink,
All
wink,
right,
nudge, nudge.
insight.
Know what I mean?
That's
You
today's
said-
episode, apparently.
You said insight engineering the first time. Did you mean to say insight science? Because you wrote science.
That's from a previous roll.
Oh,
It'd be Reason
sorry.
Engineering.
Reason engineering. He's rolling a 10. Okay. Seirana's rolling a 13. He's going to say, I don't know if I can parse this. Seirana, can you help? And Seirana's going to roll this.
Yeah, sure.
Reason
Nicely done.
Reason engineering is a 13. A focus in investigative techniques. Word always trips me up. Okay. Objective 1, I have a focus, 1 momentum, 2 threat. There we go. That's 3 threat back.
Big
And
threat
yes,
back.
3 momentum back. Yeah, it's not me to accidentally reveal I'm from the mirror timeline. Sirana, accepts the data from this back console and will begin to rapidly analyze it.
It looks like that the data packet is a highly detailed three-dimensional astronav map of the Shackleton, noting, although it's only really noting where all these fractures are. There's quite a few.
When you say astronav of the Shackleton, do you mean like the whole thing, like parts that we've never been to, or just the known Shackleton?
Astronav in the sense that normally cheaper maps are kind of just a two-dimensional, like, here's a rough idea where things are, but a proper astronav is a three-dimensional thing. So you see the massive cloud. You guys already people know how big the Shackleton is once they've discovered it, because it's hard to miss it in the beta quadrant, but no one really, these things are mapping a variety of points within that Shackleton. It just isn't noting like other planets, which would have been nice.
Okay, so it's not that useful as like a navigational aid.
Yeah, it's great for navigating to these time fractures and little else.
Okay.
And navigating from the point that you're currently at.
Okay. This appears to be a highly detailed star map of the entire Shackleton, Captain, although mostly concentrated in the realm of these temporal fractures. How many are there, GM?
Sounds like a frightening number.
$163.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
163, although this is spread across a wide area of space.
Yeah.
So
They're all around Halanak Station.
All right. Well, then log that. Harmonizer, what's your situation on board station?
Interesting. I still have some work to do here. So if you'll forgive me, Captain, let me get to it.
All right. Let us know if you require any further assistance.
Okay. Kovic out.
As you're about to cut off, the whole station rocks as an explosion occurs somewhere around the station, and the station begins to fall.
Oh my God.
I am going to start rapid firing orders for tractor beams.
The tractor beam happens without incident, as it seems Ryloff has a great handle on the idea.
All right. Colin, let's get this thing restabilized into an orbit and then get out of immediate distance.
Back to the mystery station.
Probably just a harmonizer Kovic. I recommend finding the cause of that detonation.
Thanks for the advice. I'll go hop down, run over.
What did you do? This isn't me.
Stop.
This is your people. I imagine they don't want it to fall into alien hands, the unworthy and all that sort of nonsense.
Okay. So I think the ship has stabilized the station in orbit. So what's going on?
Oh, the people of this station realize that they've lost their command and control, and I've also realized that someone's accessed its computer systems that isn't authorized. Thought I killed them all, but apparently not. And they're trying to destroy the station. Although without this room, they really can't get very far. So you're saying
That was a
that we
pretty
have
big
a duty.
boom.
We have a duty to stop you from stealing this station. I'm not stealing the station. I'm trying to stop it from destroying the people on the planet. We're not going to do that. Yes, you are. That's what you did. That's what you did all that time ago. And you're going to do it again if you get this station back. So I'm not going to let you have it. That said, thank you for not letting this station crash into the planet.
Okay.
You didn't listen to a murderer like her? Oh, I'm the murderer. Yeah.
All right, I have a solution which none of you will like. Therefore, it's probably the best solution we could probably come up with. Why don't you both agree to submit your case to arbitration and court of the freedom of free information sphere? It doesn't sound like either one of you is willing to give or reason with one another about all this. So perhaps it's time for a third party to help you figure out what happened, why things happened, and also to help us figure out if you, and I kind of gestured toward Second Soldier and Ninth Analyst, constitute an existential threat to the in theory and thereby the free information sphere. And if you are truly a murderer or we're acting out of what you thought was defense of the planet below. The free information sphere's legal system, which I'm sure you could pull up on any of these computers, you will find is stringently fair.
I'm perfectly willing to let saner minds decide the fate of this station. And besides, if I don't like it, I can just ignore you. But, I'll at least hear them out. Though, we do have a problem. I see you have these two little ones. Soldier growls and Analyst just kind of talks to them like, please, just not now.
Yep. Can we avoid the jabs just for a little bit? It's
not my
helpful.
fault they're thin-skinned.
Oh, for gosh.
But, that aside, there are a bunch of other harbingers aboard this station that are trying to destroy it, and I don't think they're the reasonable sort. I did just kill everyone they knew and loved, so I think they might have a grudge to pick. Sort of like her, but more fanatical, if you could believe it.
Second Soldier, can you talk to these people?
What? They should destroy this place and keep it from her hands. She should be dead right now. The only reason I'm not is I don't want you getting killed. You beam off and we'll handle it ourselves.
What I'm suggesting is your people pick a representative and we take type A here. Both of you will have opportunities to present evidence, but in any event, we head back elsewhere from here, thereby removing type A from your station and perhaps obviating the need for you to destroy your station.
But not command and control. Analyst kind of looks around the room and says, I don't think we have a replacement. You're the only one here that's qualified. Or it could be me. Soldier kind of looks at him and just he shakes his head like, please no. Then, damn it. Strides over. She starts striding toward the control console. Type A stands in the way. You don't have to go up to the control console. You can do any of the other ones here. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Starts tapping at the console. Flinches at the dead body that's sitting in the chair. Just tries not to think about it too much. She's trying to do a roll. You can certainly assist her with presence command. She is rolling... unfortunately, she is rolling 9 and 2. She's not terribly skilled. She does have a focus because she knows the protocols that she needs to say. So it's a matter of how, and her difficulty is, it's not quite 5 because she's on the same side as they are. It's diff 4 for her though.
Okay. Well, is she working as an ally?
Yep.
9, 10, 11. I'm rolling all of a 12 to assist. Okay, so yeah, let her spend definitely those 3 momentum. Should get her to 4 dice. Let's go ahead and give you, for my sins, 3 threats so she can roll a full met, and then I will assist.
Nathanalis will walk over and assist. Type A is not assisting at all. She doesn't think her input would be very helpful right now.
I guess that's fair.
Okay.
Bacon,
Okay.
roll 6.
Hey, it's not terrible.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6.
6.
Off of 4, so 2 generated.
2.
She at first starts in a language that you heard the computer use first. And then when she notices you walk over, she realizes that you need to be looped in. So she switches into a language that you understand and then keeps talking. The others seem to understand it just fine. The short of it is that it sounds like 2 military units kind of communicating each other in shorthand. But the gist of it you get out of it is that these people are trying to are destroying the station to keep it out of enemy hands and to preserve God's will, etc., etc., etc. But she says that with your assistance, you're able to explain what a harmonizer is, what the free information sphere is, and that the free information sphere is willing to arbitrate the crimes of Type A.
And the potential crimes of Type B. So Kovic will use his QED, QEC, and contact the ship that way. Kovic to Captain Thralic.
Thralic here.
The opposing sides aboard this station have agreed to send representatives back to Halanak station for the FIS to act as mediator in their disputes, as well as to provide information that will help us determine whether the harbingers that we discovered are in fact an existential threat to the Entheri and to Tatara. I'm officially requesting that the Federation and Starfleet assist by providing transport and diplomatic assistance in this effort.
GM,
Mm-hmm.
can I make an insight roll to know how well this deal will go over if they try to make it that the FIS is handling mediating the internal affairs of this species?
Sure. Reason, Commander Khan, difficulty of 2.
Focus in FIS law
Yeah.
or politics. Okay. 2 momentum, 1 threat. You said diff 2. Would you take 1 and 1 for a squash?
No.
Okay.
Normally under the law, the information sphere and its assembly, and the various sub-assemblies and committees and whatnot, there are mechanisms for arbitrating such things like this. And as a research cooperative, they like to encourage cooperation. They'd rather not people fight. If they can find a way to get fighting parties to negotiate, they'll do everything they can to try to make that happen. So it's well within the laws, it's well within policy, but the Entheri are the complication is that the Entheri are intensely fearful of these people, and it is not. They don't really have a legal mechanism to do something, but your understanding of Entheri is that if this isn't very carefully controlled, some individual Entheri may decide to take matters into their own hands.
Very well then. If I think it won't be too much of an issue, then I'll hold my tongue and agree to this. I was just worried that this would cause riots.
That's why you have harmonizers to deal with riots.
Well, generally, we don't do actions that spawn the riots, though. We avoid those actions. It's, it's much easier than police brutality.
Part of it is tamped down by the fact that Penn kind of gave a lot of assurances. So the fact that Starfleet's kind of adding a buffer here will make sure that at the very least the members of the Assembly won't intervene. It's individuals of the in theory that might do something. So that's more what you have to be worried about. The government won't do anything.
Alrighty then. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's a worthwhile question. It's worth checking.
You'll have the cooperation of my ship harmonizer. Do you believe the situation here is stable enough for the Da Vinci's presence to be removed? We do still have an, in theory, fleet out here.
Second soldier, can I get your people's assurances that you will not attack the in theory or the planet, and will use a minimum response if attacked in turn? I have no doubt that your technological and military capabilities far outstrip that of the in theory. In other words, if they don't shoot, you don't shoot.
Like a soldier just kind of looks around the room like they're looking for someone, a superior, to ask for permission, and then once again realizing they are the superior, Analyst just kind of taps him on the shoulder and nods at her, and she just kind of shakes her head and kind of goes, it is, as long as they don't try to board this station, we should be able to repel them trying to board. But if they board and try to access it, we'll have to destroy them.
Don't think that will be a problem. Their transporter technology is not up to the task of beaming boarding parties, and otherwise it would just be shuttles. But Captain, and Captain of the Stars, if you were there, did you hear that? Under no circumstances should the in theory or any other
Received.
people's attempt to board this station. Very well. Second soldier, you might want to get together your anyone you want to bring with you to help your case. I would appreciate it if both you and Type A would gather some data to bring with you to present to the FIS to argue your case. Type A
Harmonizer.
Yes.
Analyst speaks up and says, at present, Second Soldier is now Command and Control 1.
Then
and they're the only one who
like...
can maintain the peace you brokered. I'll go with you. And besides, I'll be more apt to get the data together anyway.
Fair enough. You may, of course, bring a delegation with you if you wish. The same goes for you. Is your only individual designation Type A? Is there something a bit less clinical I might be able to call you?
I suppose Angela would suffice.
Angela. How about you, Ninth Analyst? Do you have any other designation?
I'm the Ninth Analyst. His head confused at you.
Right.
Tethered to praise, are we? Kind of looks down for a bit and kind of looks around the room. So, they're not allowed to change names. It would detach them from their holy mission.
Every culture's got its own quirks. So, Angela, is there anyone else from your part of this argument that you might wish to bring along as part of a delegation?
She looks away for a second.
I don't mean to bring up a sore subject. I just want you to have the same opportunities that Ninth Analyst and the Command and Control 1 has.
Anyone who is left to stand up to them. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only one left. She finally looks at you.
Well, I'm sorry for that. And Command and Control 1, I'm sorry that this sudden weight of responsibility has been thrust upon you, and same for you, Ninth Analyst. But I'm sure you both will perform your duties well. Now, Ninth Analyst, this may be a hard ask, but as well as your own information, will you be, and I guess I should ask Command and Control 1 this, Angela will need to be able to provide data for her own side of this negotiation. Are you willing to allow her access to retrieve that data?
Type A's and below are not permitted to access the computer systems. He glares over at her. Though I'm guessing you already took that information when you killed everyone. That would be accurate, she says back. Though I thank you, Harmonizer, for considering me. I didn't think I was going to get a second chance at this place.
Do you feel you have everything you need to present your argument and to defend your actions?
I believe so.
Fantastic. Command and Control 1, would you like the Da Vinci to beam over the rest of your group?
How many are
To
there?
assist?
Says Angela.
Not a lot.
Command and Control says to you, yes, Ninth Analyst will be able to handle this on his own. He won't need a contingent. Besides, we need to replace everyone we've lost.
Understood. Don't know that we ever broke communications. So, Captain
Yeah.
Thralick, can you arrange for the other Harbingers aboard to beam over to the location that Ninth Analyst will send you?
Confirmed.
To verify, there's no requested Starfleet presence to ensure or to help ensure no, in theory, aggression aboard the station. I mean,
What was that?
is there? I'm just making sure there's no requested Starfleet presence aboard the station to help ensure a lack of, in theory, aggression.
My
Or
sense
to at
is
least
that these people would prefer that no non-harbinger or species be allowed on the station for any reason.
reasonable. Though offers must be made.
Fair enough. Command and Control 1, would you wish a representative of either the FIS or the United Federation of Planets to come aboard the station to act as a liaison with and in theory?
Analyst, what's our chances of actually being able to de-escalate a confrontation with the in theory? Terrible. That's your calculation? I could calculate it, but I don't think that's necessary.
Kevin kind of stalks over here, muttering, and crushes out one Doomstick, lights up another one before walking back.
Right. Then a representative is likely a good idea, if nothing else, to keep the in theory from panicking. As for your the suggestion the Centurion spoke of, I believe that your people have less than lethal weaponry. That may be preferential to our way of neutralizing threats. She means kill them, Angela says.
So, are you requesting that the Da Vinci stand by to ward off any, in theory, action? We can have another FIS vessel return to pick up the delegation, if that's the case.
Whatever resources your Starfleet is willing to lend to maintaining the peace, I will allow. As I wish to give my best to uphold my side of the bargain.
That's much appreciated. Captain Thralic?
Once you've returned with the delegation, we can debrief and discuss whether the Da Vinci should remain here, or I can send a contingent over with Command and Control's authorization.
Is that acceptable to both parties here?
Angela just shrugs. CNC nods.
Very well. Once you've completed beaming of the other harbingers, I believe Knights Analyst Angela and I will be ready to beam over.
Understood. We'll have those transports range. And I'll, send down orders to the transporter rooms and such.
Soldier and analyst kind of share a look with each other for a moment, and they just kind of nod at each other. And then that's when the three of you are beamed up to the ship.
If they're going to the transporter
18 others?
pad,
Yeah.
they're going to the transporter pad, right? They're not going to the bridge.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I would like to get on the elevator to go see them. I assume the two of you want to too, Rylov and Thralic?
Probably not. We're still in a tense situation.
All right. Well then, okay. As an official representative of the FIS government, at the very least, I want to go.
Yeah. Frog will look slightly surprised as Serrano leaves, but then kind of, parse what's going on. And then, say, communications, get me Commodore Osif.
You see the in-theory Commodore come on screen.
Right, the Commodore. Okay.
Yeah. Commodore.
Da Vinci, Captain, it looks like you're well.
Da Vinci's local situation is resolved. We have a diplomatic agreement, the details of which will be forwarded to you shortly. I need to get assurances that you can keep your ships from initiating hostile action against this station while we continue legal proceedings.
I've reminded my attack swarms that if they wish to continue engaging without my say-so, they'll be fighting my squadron. So, if nothing else, we will be intervening. Until such time we get an order from our assembly representatives. Or the assembly itself.
We've had a similar guarantee of non-aggression from the entities on board station.
There's more of them.
There are some of them. The situation will now be moving into FIS legal proceedings, and from there we hope to resolve this situation amenably and peaceably. The in theory's concerns will be brought forward as to the nature of the harbingers and their past actions, as well as I understand a third party who was in the process of violent seizure of the station.
Who is this third party?
Details will be forthcoming, but as far as I understand it, an internal faction.
The Harbingers
So
fighting
there's
among
splinter
themselves.
teams.
That's, not sure whether to be happy about that or terrified.
I'll warn you, Commodore, this is very early information. Details may be subject to change. But this is my understanding before debriefing.
Please keep me informed, Captain, and be very careful about your movements. Don't give my lesser swarms a reason to engage your ship.
Of course. We'll be giving you a large amount of forewarning before the Da Vinci takes any further actions.
Very well.
Da Vinci out.
Flicker off screen.
Or any further nuclear devices.
Play.
Sirana, you come down to the teleporter pad, the transporter room, and you find yourself in the presence of Ninth Analyst Angela and Kovic.
Okay. I will do the traditional Upentare greeting. I assume some display of flashing lights. And
What kind of gift do you
will-
offer?
Oh, shit.
I forgot that!
I forgot.
Replicated something on the way down.
No, I'm trying to think. What could I have grabbed on the way down?
Bag of treble peanuts.
I mean, there's a ship full of replicators.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's like getting fast food for a fancy dinner.
Oh, no,
Well,
that was a
is
joke.
it
That was
though?
not a serious consideration.
Actually, you know what? We are on a diplomatic meeting, so I will grab a collection of assorted poetry from the FIS as a cultural gift. Just a classic book of assorted poems from all three species, from all time periods. 2 copies, one for each of them, and I will say, I will flash my lights in greeting, and I will say, "Welcome to the USS Da Vinci. I am Captain of the Stars Hignath Serana of the species the Upentari. I am a representative of the FIS's military and a representative of the entire government in this case. As is tradition amongst my people, you are a new and honored guest amongst ours. And so I offer you these books as gifts. And I'm going to say they are printed hardcover, like actual physical books."
Analyst looks quite enraptured with the gift and immediately starts paging through it, almost forgetting about the whole thing that's going on around him at the moment. Angela takes it and just kind of furrows her brow at it, like, what is this? And then just flipping through it a bit and closes it. Thanks.
And the two of you-
Thanks, Analyst says, after realizing.
Kovic will
Didn't say
make
anything.
introductions. This is Ninth Analyst. This is Angela. Ninth Analyst
Yes.
Angela. This is Captain of the Stars Seriana, the commander of Halanak Station.
Yes. As of present, Admiral Pent has returned to active duty, and he is now above me again. But that situation is fluid. If you will follow me, I believe we have diplomatic quarters set aside for you. Unless you would like to go straight to the Captain Thralic.
Well, I'm fine with getting on with it, or waiting, as the case may be. What about you? Analyst, still looking through the book. Closes the book. Right. The sooner the better. The longer we have this showdown, the more likely someone's going to do something very stupid. Not that you did. Well, you did something. You know.
Very well. Shall we meet for preliminary negotiations then?
Yes, let's.
Very well then. I will lead them presumably to the conference room for preliminary negotiations.
Not the
Not
bridge
that it will-
conference room.
Not that it will help much, but please set them at opposite ends of the table.
Yeah, we'll say this is a
Oh, I
table
learned-
somewhere
I
else
learned
on the
that
ship.
lesson from the
Yeah.
Romulans. Yeah.
While Serana is playing diplomat, I need to pull Kovic into a meeting and get debriefed on what exactly happened over there and caught up, basically, because that's proper procedure.
Do you want me with Kovic, or do you want me to doing things from the Starfleet side and setting politics up? Where does the
Centurions,
captain want her
let's
exo?
stay on the same page about this. You with me, we'll discuss with Kovic.
Lovely.
Lieutenant Jarias, you have the bridge.
I'm getting a lot of bridge time today.
He
Big.
sure is, yeah.
For an LTJG to be put on the bridge in a diplomatic crisis this severe, yeah.
Well, they wouldn't let. I mean, ensign, not in the fleet.
Yeah. Also similar rank to an ensign.
Outranked by an ensign.
Right. Yeah. Like we could call up someone who's of higher rank, I guess.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He's what's on the bridge. It makes sense. I just do think,
Yeah.
this guy's the most important LTJG in the whole fleet right now.
I think. Well, we've got Cham and.
Yeah, we've got
Tamine,
Cham, who's
that's
been a
it,
full
yeah.
lieutenant for like 4 or 5 years now. Like, Cham is due for promotion.
He's just turning down promotions. I'm guaranteeing you. He wants to
Oh,
stay a
yeah?
lieutenant.
I believe it, honestly. It's like, this is where the action's at.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once everyone's situated in the room, Thrall just kind of curl up and say, "All right, Kovic, tell me what went down over there."
And info dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then.
So yeah, Angela is a mass murdering badass. Incredibly dangerous. Ninth analyst, completely different, very much like his name. I talked everybody off of various ledges, got him to agree to some sort of arbitration. There's a lot of death and destruction and terribly, terribly hard feelings. Religion of some sort is apparently a very sensitive issue for ninth analysts' part of the Harbingers.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Angela is an earlier iteration of the Harbingers. I don't know if that means that they're all created species or
No, they're
what
all
have you.
right. All right.
I would like the smoking alarms turned off in my cabin because after the day I've had, I'm going to sit and smoke.
I'll talk to engineering and see what they can do about a filtration system.
Would you suggest, Kovic, that... Actually, the first question. The station appears to have no less than lethal options? Vessel stations don't By that I mean nothing that is immediately overwhelming.
From what I understand, their usual way of dealing with threats is lethal force. As to what that consists of, I don't know. However, their technology does appear to be significantly more advanced than even the Federation's.
All right.
My thought is, Captain, that personnel could simply be on the station, and with such more advanced technology, direct its use in a manner that might be appropriate.
It's entirely possible.
Ninth analysts people appear to be incredibly xenophobic. They were not blowing up. The survivors of Angela's rampage weren't blowing up the station so much because of her rampage as for the fact that I accessed their computer system.
Do you believe that Second Soldier can abide by our agreement with having Starfleet personnel as a delegation?
I would tend to think so. Again, I think the ideal option might be leaving the Da Vinci stationed here to kind of get in the middle and de-escalate or use more non-lethal means.
Right.
I don't know that if the in theory or anybody else actually boarded the station, whether there would be any stopping them using lethal force. I'll put it that way.
All right. Then it does sound like the Da Vinci's place is here. I believe you're better equipped for securing alternate transit for our guests.
Yes, I can definitely get that done.
It's that, or we do have our own shuttlecraft available to us.
If it's all the
Those
same
would
to you, I'd
take
much
significantly
rather.
longer.
Yeah, I'd much rather get these people away from here and negotiating as quickly as possible, and that means quantum slipstream. Although we'll probably want to borrow a shuttle over to get over.
Do you deem having Starfleet personnel with you during that transit would be necessary?
No, the problem really does seem to be non-Harbinger in their station and space.
No.
All right. Then let's get transit arranged for Angela and Ninth Analyst, as well as yourself. Potentially Captain of the Stars, Serana. The Da Vinci
Excellent.
will remain here as a neutral party to help maintain peaceful relations between the In Theory and the
Bridge
Harbingers.
to captain.
Captain here, report.
15 new contacts have just combined have entered system and launched from planets. They are surrounding our position at current. Verifying with the Commodore that these are not part of their attack swarm. These seem to be a variety of civil freighters and personal craft of the In Theory.
Right. It's a well-organized militia.
Estimated size about scale 15 fleet has assembled.
Well, this day just keeps getting better.
Right. Lieutenant, we're coming back to the bridge.
Aye, Captain.
Stand up and
Slight nod to Kovic going past.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And just like as we're leaving, I'll just say, keep doing what you can to Kovic.
Meanwhile, in the conference room.
Yep.
Okay. So none of this is official yet, as I have not spoken to my government about this. Although once we are back on Halanak station, I will meet and debrief the Prime Minister about this. But let's start with a very basic introduction to this debate, because a third element to this debate is, while I understand the two of you have disputes with each other, you both combined share the same dispute with the In Theory over the planet, and I represent the government the In Theory are a part of. So let us begin. We'll start with you, Ninth Analyst, and then we'll go to you, Angela. Who you are representing, and what your specific claim is in regards to this dispute.
Presence command, difficulty 2.
Presence command, a focus in etiquette.
Yeah.
All right. A trait of negotiator.
That will bring down the diff, yeah.
Thank you. Okay. And one momentum. I'm rolling a 14 with a focus. I only need to spend one. I'll make more than I've spent.
Was that a spent point of momentum or a threat?
Yes, spend one, get one. Or spend one, get two. What am I saying? Get three. The difficulty was 1 and I rolled 4. I
Yeah.
do math.
Well, I can't, so I just trusted you, and now I've been betrayed.
Yeah, just you wait until Mirror Me stabs you while you're going to bed.
I'm like, no, math. Wait, this has nothing to do with math.
Analyst begins with, in summary, it seems that the Harbingers are tasked with some sort of ritual or holy rite of purifying Tatara. That is a thing that they have already done, is his understanding. They've already accomplished that. They haven't gotten new follow-up orders from Command and Control, largely because Command and Control is no longer dead, is currently dead, so they didn't get new information, which they were hoping to get. At present, he's not sure what the official stance of the Kingdom of Heaven is going to be, because right now it is being reassembled from its shattered remains. Tatara is part of this, as far as he's aware, is for time immemorial, is within the Celestial Kingdom and Empire. And though he does admit that he doesn't know who the Theory are, but that's largely that sort of information is likely in the station computer, so he looks forward to seeing what new information he gets from his new Command and Control 1. And he can update when he knows more, especially during the case. But for now, it's a lot of they don't really know. Much as CNC and the rest of the Harbingers probably won't admit this, but it's incomplete information. Because he made the roll, he's willing to admit that incomplete information is worth noting, because otherwise we act as if we know everything.
Mm-hmm.
From Angela's part, she listens patiently. And every so often she looks like she's about to say, she makes a snide remark now and again, but you're able to get her kind of like, be quiet for a second, please, to let him finish. You'll get your turn, she'll, after like 4 or 5 of that, like she eventually stops. Because neither of you are really rising to her baiting, so she just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll stop being annoying now. But then she says, what your Command and Control is going to find out is that the in theory are the Celestial Kingdom. They are the worthy. Alice just gapes at her. Captain of Stars, the Harbingers were made by the Celestial Empire to assist in their ascension. And all other possible threats to this path were to be wiped out from Tatara. And thus, the Harbingers, like the Analysts, like the soldiers, like the Devastators, they went to that planet and brutally killed everything down there. And once their sin was done, their crime finished, were stuffed away into a closet, just in case they were needed again. I have been trying to get back into the Kingdom of Heaven to stop them from ever doing it again. I am a prototype of the Harbingers, the Type A series, the final iteration. before the soldier types were being built. The people that station was about to kill analysts are the very people who made us. They just don't remember anymore. Alice just kind of sits back and just completely floored. You can see he's calculating behind his eyes. And just folds her arms.
Sirana sort of flashes a flick of different colors in a confused manner and says, "Huh? Have you any evidence of your supposition?"
It's all in the station files. And I can recite the various historical events I've watched the In Theory go through. They are a very different people from the Empire. Far more peaceful and agreeable. If a bit headstrong, but that's fitting, I suppose.
Funny you say that, considering by FIS standards, they are, well, they're practically militarists.
So are you.
Theriana would know.
They don't need to know that part. And yes, Sirana will begin and say, okay, now that the two of you have explained your positions, let me do my best to explain the position of my government. From my government's point of view, the FIS is a coalition, a confederation, a union, however you would like to describe it, a pluricentric national democracy of three separate species on both their homeworlds and their various colonies and outlying systems. The In Theory, the Upentari, and the... Why am I forgetting the name?
Savix cast.
The thank you. And from my government's point of view, the In Theory are the only known sentient life to have ever existed on the In Theory homeworld, which I remember the name of. It's
Tatara.
Terara. Tatara. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are the only sentient life who have ever existed on Tatara, to our knowledge, and therefore have indisputable indigenous rights to the planet. We are willing to. The government would likely be willing to make accommodations for another species were that claim to be disproven. However, the In Theory are quite vocally militantly opposed to your faction, as they believe you to be literal demons and devils from their ancient folk history come to life.
They're not wrong, says Angela.
They have they initially wanted to destroy all of you when we discovered you. Our government managed to talk them down, and they are not willing. They will not destroy you as of this current moment. They will instead only destroy you pending the results of an investigation into your alleged crimes against them by the harmonizers. I, for one, believe that this is a lot of bluster and not a lot of bark. I am very confident that they will not actually commit such violent acts and are instead acting irrationally from a long-shared, almost forgotten, but still ever-present cultural trauma. I do believe that we can find a settled agreement that makes all of us happy, but it does require some. It requires reciprocal empathy on all parts, and it requires all of us to accept that none of us are getting everything that we want and must find a compromise that is happy for everyone. So, can we all agree that we will participate in this negotiation in good faith and abide by any results that come out of it?
I'm perfectly fine continuing. I don't mind sharing the crimes of the Harbingers. And I'll let the current tenants of Tatara decide what should be done with them, along with your free information sphere. Very long.
Oh, just you wait. Just you wait until you visit the United Federation of Planets. um, and I'll turn to, was it Angela who did not speak up yet, and say,
Angela's the one
"And
who
you?"
said that.
Oh, then I will turn to the analysts and say, "And you?"
I have to confer and advise command and control. One, sorry, this is a lot to process. I for now, don't see a reason to close negotiations, but I don't know how command and control is going to respond to this. If this is true, then I don't know what we're going to do with the kingdom of heaven. So I guess we'll try, but I don't know for sure. I wish I could say more, but we've just so much we don't know. And not that I'm saying but you could be lying. I could be, but you're gonna find the evidence.
Right. Well,
Right.
I also must negotiate and refer to my government before anything else is decided. I say we call a recess to do just that, and we reconvene on the station at everyone's next best convenience. Halanak station, that is the centerpiece, metropolis in space that is both our primary entree port and our capital city, and our military capital. Come to think of it.
A long name.
It's almost celestial in its design. By the way you describe it, says Angela. And it's at that point, Kovic, I don't know if, because at some point I think you were going to check in on this conference. So you probably would
Yes,
come down
correct,
to this
yeah.
deck, and it's around the time they've recessed by the time you get down there, because you had your little tete-a-tete with Thralic and Ryloff.
We've just called a recess, Kovuk. It's very nice to see you.
Yes, well,
I believe.
I hate to be the
Yes.
bearer of bad news, but it looks like in theory, are acting up cranky.
Those blight, damn, fuck.
It's not just the military. It's apparently all sorts of civilian and other ships from the planet and out system. But we'd best get to the bridge.
Yes. Right away. And I will leave the two of them to their own devices as I rush to something much more important.
Yep. Um,
Kovic will not leave them to their own devices, but make sure that they get back to their diplomatic quarters on opposite ends of some deck somewhere.
Easily done. Neither of them are causing trouble. Or
Okay,
willing to
cool.
cause trouble, I should say.
Then I will rush to the bridge.
It's at this moment, Rear Admiral Pend. You get called up to the presiding speaker's office.
Sure.
You notice when you come into his office, you see that your bars are sitting on his desk, kind of facing out toward whoever's entering, which would be you in this case, not facing toward him.
Presiding speaker.
Admiral, I wanted to inform you before another emergency session is held. His lights dim as frustration lights up across Virus. It would seem that independent, in theory, civilians have taken to space and are demanding that the attack swarm destroy the threat that is aimed against them. Thankfully, your words have kept the assembly members from doing anything rash, but we now have a very distinct problem of keeping our cooperative and together. Not the least of which, making sure that those, in theory, civilians recognize that their assembly members are actually doing what's best for them. At present, the attack swarm that's present has calculated that a scale 15 civil fleet has assembled in the Tatara system. The attack swarm, from what the, in theory, assembly members have told me, are not given orders to attack the station. They're largely following your Da Vinci's lead, so long as the alien station doesn't attack. But I don't know how much the Commodore of that attack fleet is going to be able to keep his people on the same side as you. The, in theory, are very individualistic, and if this turns into a moral quandary, there may be chaos. So whatever your ship is doing, I hope whatever they do it quickly. I'm going to do what I can to keep the cogs and tendrils of our cooperative moving. But whatever you can do would be greatly appreciated by myself, and I can safely say the assembly as well.
Was the recent assembly broadcast to the peoples of the Free Information Sphere?
It would have been, yes. Anyone who was watching, and most people do.
Do we know the identities of the civilian fleet?
The Commodore is doing his best to start contacting all of them and verifying their transponders. We're getting some names, but we don't have all of them yet. Some of them are not being terribly cooperative with the attack swarm, seeing them as failing in their duties to protect Tatara and the commissariat, etc., etc., etc. I appreciate their willingness to defend their homeworld, but this intensity, I believe, is misplaced. I'm not really sure how much I can do to stop it. Not that I'm sure they want me to.
Well, if we get more information, I'll happily try and reach out and speak to them. Or if I can get a ship belonging to the FIS, someone to take me there to the location, I'll attempt to speak to them in person.
There's two ways we could do this. We could either get a Savaskas attack swarm ship to fly you there, or an Upantari vessel. If we fly into their space, our military gets entangled into it. Alternatively, but that said, it would get you there in person, and in theory, do appreciate seeing what they believe, or believing what they're seeing. Alternatively, you could contact your vessel and communicate through them. The QEC link seems to be going fine through our Captain Star Seirana that's there. But I'll warn you, Admiral, the theory are unlike most species you've encountered, I would imagine. They have representatives, but they are far more individualistic than any empire or civilization you've likely crossed. Even us up in Upantari had to work many years to get them to accept the idea of assembly representatives.
I appreciate that, but you'd be surprised with how the differences between species tend to link them to more similarities than everyone would like to admit.
Just be sure not to ignore the differences.
I will certainly try to make sure I don't.
Good day to you, Admiral.
And to you.
Oh, where you go? Which way do you wish to go?
If is there an inferior ship? Oh no, they don't use ships, do they?
They do, but the entire attack swarm is in the Taytara system. They were escorting the Da Vinci.
If I can borrow a ship, I'll go there in person.
Well, I would recommend an Upantari ship, but the choice is yours. I can requisition a Cyrax-class attack swarm ship or an Upantari vessel.
I'll take your recommendation.
I'll have them meet you in Docking Bay 44.
Thank you.
He turns to his console and starts patting at it with his tendrils and talking to a variety of people at the same time.
Yeah, and I'll head on out and get ready for departure.
Eyes is wrong.
Be tiny.
These things are only like scale 3, I think.
Yeah.
What's pen scale 20? Jesus.
Yeah, didn't you know? You've been playing a giant Tellarite this whole time. It's like giant Spock.
As Penn begins to get underway, we go back to the bridge. New scene.
All right.
So yeah, you see a cloud of ships kind of all across your on the view screen as the Silec's able to put it up and let you know exactly how many ships there are. Mostly
say,
between scale 1 to scale 1, scale 2 vessels.
Comms coordinate with the Inferior attack swarm. I want QAC communications to those rogue civilian vessels.
Oh, I might have come back just in time. Hey.
Centurion, coordinate the away team for deployment onto the station. I think we need them in place as soon as possible.
Do you want me with them or just coordinating them from here?
That's your call.
Ready to go with them. So
Yep.
we've got a character there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's when Seyran and Kovic step onto the bridge.
Kovic will have
stars. Good.
contacted Halanak Station on its way up to try and request a ship to come here.
You're informed that the UPN Triumph is en route.
Yeah, even better.
Admiral Pend is aboard.
Captain Thralic, looks like Admiral Pend will be joining us soon on the UPN Triumph.
Well, that's something, but let's try and get this situation stabilized before you arrive, shall we?
Agreed.
Comms, progress on those QEC links.
Commodore Osif is telling us that they don't share a common channel. They seem to be... They're not in the central attack swarm channel. So he's having to contact each individual QEC. Or as types, I think. It's...
Right.
We have to
line
somehow
communication.
centralize them or in some way, but they don't seem to have that set up.
Tirana pushes this chair out of the way, slimes over here, and says, "If they're not connected to a central network, we just have to make the network and force them onto it. And I would like to very quickly assemble a QEC network, looping in all of the ships in this engagement."
Yeah, we just need to get their phone numbers and force dial them a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Daring engineering, difficulty 2, assisted by comms engineering. This would normally be higher, but you're a stellar fleet officer. You know how QECs work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna have a focus.
You have FIS protocols or something?
No, I'm thinking, could telepathic link be useful here? Could I argue that lowers the difficulty on the grounds that I'm specifically, I'm able to use that to communicate with people and order them to join this network and use that as a way to construct this? If that's a stretch, that's fine.
Oh, you mean like people on the Da Vinci, you mean?
No, I mean, can I use telepathic link to reach out to people on board the other ships, the civilian ships, to force them onto this one?
No, because you need to physically touch people to do that. Use your tendrils to make that connection.
Okay. Amorphous form, that's not going to help. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to burn my determination now on the value. Solidarity forever, on the grounds that I'm attempting to force solidarity between a bunch of people who won't have that.
Yeah, it fits with your philosophy. Even if it isn't theirs, it fits yours.
Okay. All right, and I'll spend 2 momentum for 3 dice. So it's stiff 2, we get 2 back.
All right.
Plus station ship.
Yeah, let's ship. Comms engineering. Nothing from the ship.
So does this mean this network exists, or does this actually mean they're all on the network?
You're able to basically create a network channel that lets you talk to all of them, and they all can hear you. So you kind of created your own impromptu attack swarm channel that they'll all kind of hear. You understand when you do it. You understand immediately why the Commodore couldn't do it, because this isn't something they in theory do except for their attack swarm, whereas the Opatari are used to doing this a lot. So they're very confused in theory, but for you, this is common.
Yep.
And I'm going to stay in my most condescending, scolding school teacher voice. Attention, all civilian ships engaging in hostile actions. You are currently in violation of numerous statutes of FIS law. You are currently being opposed by the Commodore's fleet, by the Starfleet ship, and by the FIS government as a whole. If you do not stand down, hostile actions will come upon you. You are ruining an incredibly tense diplomatic scenario with your unneeded aggressive posturing, formulating the exact course of actions that will lead to grave consequences. Stand down now or face full criminal prosecution.
Kovic will make sure he is on screen as well to kind of, indicate the harmonizer presence.
I was going to say, can I argue for an assist from Thralic and the Commodore if I'm using their authority to help me here too?
The Commodore is not assisting.
Ah, that tricky bastard.
I mean,
you did just straight out threaten to attack his
you
people.
enacted a lot of authority that I'm not sure if Thralic's super comfortable with you throwing around.
Yeah,
on
you
her
went very
ship.
military.
You went very
Okay.
military very quickly.
Okay. These people are about to extra legally engage in a hostile action against another species. So yeah, I'm going to be
Yes,
pretty aggressive in stomping them down. This is the kind of things that start wars.
it is, and I
Suppose
would have
what you
taken a
just said,
different
yeah.
approach.
What you just said would be starting a civil war.
Exactly.
No. It would be starting a police action against dissident elements of our society. These are very
Aha!
different concepts.
These are the
Wow,
same
you
thing. These pictures are the same thing.
Of course, a filthy democracy believer would say that. Okay, so am I getting the sense that the only assist I'm getting here is from Kovic?
The ship helps unless Starlock is ordering her people not to help with the communication and sending of files.
I am not, and like there is, I think there's still a assist happening here, kind of, but it would be.
Um,
in the toning it down like the
Yeah.
Kovic will kind of step forward and go, friends, the civil authorities are working on this. This is not a military matter. As the harmonizer, I have brought both sides, all sides of this conflict to the table. They have agreed to be mediated and abide by the proceedings of FIS mediation as carried out by the Harmony Enforcement Division. But your presence here is complicating the situation. I will also, in my role as harmonizer, guarantee the in theory are fully and rapidly informed of any and all developments as negotiations continue. We're not going to hide anything from you. We're not going to allow anyone to take any aggressive action against the in theory. My mission is to determine whether these people are constitute an existential threat to the current in theory and the planet of Tatara, or whether they do not. I have worked very hard, and the civil authorities have worked very hard to create a situation in which we can solve this peacefully and equitably for all parties involved. I ask you to please give us the opportunity to do so. Escalating the situation at this point can only lead to many needless deaths and countless suffering for the in theory, for all the species, all the members of the FIS, and for Tatara, and yes, even for these harbingers. So
What
please,
do you know? This is our world. We're saving ourselves from doom. How dare you tell us how to... And it's just a chorus of flashing lights and voices of people you're having to shout over after a while.
well, it's worth a shot.
Although I'll note to you that the Commodore, although you know he's on the channel, and they probably could, if they looked, they could tell he's listening in. He's not supporting you, but his voice is not joining theirs at all. He's staying a very neutral, dim color. He's staying quiet and observing.
I would like to weigh in here. I will say, people of Tatara, I understand your
We the
righteous
commissariat!
fury
Shouts.
about the situations you perceive here. However, I ask that you hold your defensive actions until such time as my crew, currently on board the station in negotiations, has been able to assess the situation. I ask not that you stand down completely, but merely that you wait for information. Be cautious. It is rash action which leads to actions of regret. And that'll be how I'll be assisting this role.
Div 6, Comp 4.
All right. A focus of prestigious in the FIS. These kinds of people should listen to what I have to say.
Oh, yep, Comp or Diff.
I will lower the difficulty. Um. Okay. 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 So we have 2 momentum. Can I challenge the value there is no point in living if you're not having fun, on the grounds that I, throughout the course of these past few weeks, have been doing a lot of things that I don't consider fun or enjoyable at
Aw.
all, but need to get done in order to keep my society up and running.
And realize your fascist dreams.
You can strike that
And-
out. That seems like something that's holding you back in this manner.
Didn't
Yeah,
Sayrana
but
have
we-
like a change of heart at the end of last episode?
Well, she did, and then this happened. It's a very ping-pongy. These people are engaged in insurrection. Functionally.
Remember, she
and-
physically lacks a spine.
She does. She does. She does. Okay. 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 Then, okay, having crossed that one out, I would like to spend the value on solidarity forever, on the grounds that I am explicitly trying to form a consensus solidarity to accept the peaceful process and not disobey the law and engage in violent action.
I will say it makes sense for it to fuel your efforts.
Okay.
Because that's solidarity is not an in theory philosophy. It's a very Opentari one.
Okay. So is that saying it won't apply here?
It will apply. It's just
Okay.
That
It'll
applies
apply to your
sideways.
motivations, maybe not your,
Okay. Can I argue for a focus in FIS law on the grounds that I am citing their specific violations and the consequences that come with it?
that is unmoving to them.
Oh, great, great, great.
Well, we experienced this with the in theory before. They don't care if they're breaking the law.
They really don't. These godless
They are a
anarchists.
very-
We really do need to enforce law and order upon them.
If they believe they're doing the right thing, they believe the
Oh.
consequences are worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is them.
Although I will note that law is why the Commodore and the attack swarm aren't stepping in either way, because legally they can't stand against their people, but they're certainly not helping them with this either. It's like, you're allowed to do what you want, but we don't have to help you be stupid.
Okay, I am going to spend our 2 momentum on a focus in, I will say, negotiations. Does that work here?
Yeah.
All right, negotiations. All right, and now you are getting, so 3, you're getting 7 threat? No, you're getting 5 threat to roll 4 dice.
Right.
And I am activating the ability, citation for conspicuous gallantry. Any effects I roll, you don't get that threat. Okay, you get 4 threat.
That's threat.
Where are you getting?
That's it.
Where are you getting 5 threat from?
Determination
Because I already
spend.
spent the determination. So
Okay.
that's 7.
Team Dynamics focus here.
Yep. 8.
We're a very persuasive bunch.
Comms
Even
command.
though
I don't know
Kind of
why I rolled Insight Con there.
I believe that's a worse roll than what you had, and a 5 would have got it. You're good.
A 5 would have crit actually. So
there you go.
we're at 1 more.
Here we go. 9.
Oh.
That's
And
3
comms
momentum.
command.
4 momentum.
10.
Yeah.
10 on
5
5
momentum.
generates 5. These are ideas that all of you are expressing, and you end up having to express them multiple times because some people just didn't hear them. It helps that you're on a view screen, so a lot of them did see you at least, and that some of them were kind of, once they realized what your body language was saying, that kind of helped them. When they got new data, they hear more things being said. More and more people start kind of not flaring at the screen quite so readily. And eventually, you get through like the first wave, and then it's like, the second wave didn't hear the first time, so you have to repeat yourself. The third wave seems completely stubborn, and you have to really stamp down on the fact that that this is being handled. You're not doing nothing, sort of thing, and that kind of.
Also, I'm not trampling on your right to free action. I'm advising you to stand down.
Eventually, the chorus of lights kind of dims.
Good, it's giving me a migraine.
The militant swarm of Taitara, says Commodore, is to stand by until further hostilities is known. Some flickering lights. I know what I'm doing. They know what they're doing. It comes down to it. Then the commissariat will stand. And we are standing. Some flickers, and then the ships are still there, but no one's everyone's kind of just staying in position. No one's getting closer. No one's approaching the station. The Commodore kind of sends a quantum communication to just Seirana and Kovic. Work quickly. I don't know how long this is going to last.
Oh, I guess we're not doing the negotiation back on the station.
Around that time, the UPN Triumph Quantums jumps into the system, and you are hailed by the Triumph, informing you that Rear Admiral Pend is aboard.
Mute other communications. Answer. Hail from the Triumph.
Say again, Da Vinci?
Hold other communications, except hail from the Triumph.
Is everything all right, Da Vinci? Says the captain of the Triumph.
We're in a somewhat tense situation here, Triumph. I'm sure the Admiral would like to come aboard as soon as possible.
Sorry, say again, Da Vinci? We're having a lot of interference.
Triumph, this is Da Vinci. Can you read our transmission?
Stand by. Seirana, your QEC blips. You are being called by the Triumph.
Seirana here.
Seirana, could you patch me through to the Da Vinci? The swarm of ships is making it very difficult to use the subspace transponder, and I am not going to fiddle with this any longer.
Yeah, can I connect my QEC to the ship to...
You can, yeah.
Make it broadband.
As you realize, the Triumph was trying to use subspace radio, and they're just not experienced with it, and they don't know how to fix it when it's this many ships interfering with the signal.
I mean, none of those ships are using subspace. There shouldn't be interference.
There shouldn't be, you're right. This is the Triumph. Say again, Captain Thralic. I can hear you clearly now.
We'll be sending over a shuttle to get the Admiral on board. We're in a somewhat tense situation, and I believe expediting a transfer would be best.
You sure you want to be sending a small craft through that? That's a lot of ships with kinetic cannons.
Well, we're not moving, and I don't advise, due to the tension, that you bring a fully armed warship through the swarm either.
Stand by. Rear Admiral Pen to the bridge, please.
Yeah, Pen will come up to the bridge.
You find this thing is very much not designed for non-Upentari, so it's a lot of crouching and, shimming your way through crap and between narrow hallways, but eventually you're able to kind of get in there. The one time where being a somewhat shorter species is helping, but this is not meant for a person with a spine and a non-morphous body.
You cold?
And I'll notably point out that there are, of course, no chairs, because why would the Upentari need chairs?
Mm-hmm.
You see Pend in a very uncomfortable position, half crouched into the bridge.
Admiral?
Yep. Captain.
The captain here is suggesting we they send a small craft, or we do, to bring you over to their ship. I'm just here to be the ride, so someone explain to me what we're doing, beyond not engaging with whatever all that is.
May I ask what our current situation is with the civilian fleet?
We're in a tense ceasefire.
Okay. Could you send a shuttle across via automation? I'll bring it back myself.
We should be able to do that.
Yeah, and if you could upload some or whatever information you have onto a pad, I'll read it on my way back.
I'll have Ensign run that down.
Anything I need to know immediately or desperately?
We have Harbinger delegates on board who were originally bound for Halanak Station. If the Triumph can hold position temporarily until we determine whether negotiations should continue on the Da Vinci or on station, that would be appreciated.
Triumph? Are you okay with that?
Well, as long as we don't have to get any closer, the further away we stay away from that mess, the better.
Don't blame you. But yep, if you go ahead with the plans, I will speak to you shortly, Captain.
Very good, Admiral. We'll have your transport to you momentarily.
Head out. Captain, how do I get to the shuttle bay?
He reaches out and absent hand. It does the thing that most of these Upentari, other than Seirana, does, and touches you to telepathically let you know. And you hear the directions, and then his favorite food, a movie he saw once, a conversation he had 5 minutes ago. It's a little like jarring and but eventually you get it, and he flinches as he realizes he kind of overwhelmed you for a second. Oh, sorry. That way.
I also like Sandaran jelly. It's quite nice. Thank you.
I'm just glad it's not sentient. Told you he believed it. Shush. And off you're able to thankfully the ship isn't big, so you don't have far to go. It's just a very uncomfortable waddle over to the small craft bay. Meanwhile, I'll touch on this real quick. Oh well, BRB for a few minutes, so hop. Ryloff.
Yes.
You get upon the station, and Talora came with you?
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's a security detachment, so as long as there's a security person that's not used elsewhere, they can magically appear if needed.
Yep.
Yep.
You find that you eventually your people are directed by... You're kind of beamed into where Kovic came in the first time. And then that's when your gaggle of people come into the large command and control center. By this point, a lot of the bodies and remains they're not cleared away, but they are kind of moved so people can get at the computers without people stepping on their dead comrades. There's like 18 of these harbingers moving around that you've seen on the ship. There's a bunch of other people who look like the harbingers, but they're dressed in different kinds of uniforms. They don't have. They seem to have guns of some variety. They all reach for their weapons, and then as you're stepping through, and then a loud voice reverberates through the whole chamber. They're here on my order. Stand down. Continue revitalizing. People turn with mechanical precision and get back to work. You see Second Soldier come down, or CNC1 now, who seems to be dressed in an all red uniform. Still has her bladed weapon, but she's dressed differently now.
Mm-hmm.
Centurion, Starfleet. I don't know who you are. Welcome to the Kingdom of Heaven.
Thank you for the welcome. I wish it was under better circumstances.
I'll have one of our analysts advise whoever your second is among your security team to have them divvied up across the facility. There are a variety of entry points and airlocks, and I imagine you wish to... We don't exactly need help defending CNC. Command and control.
No, we just need to move security personnel with phaser weaponry that's set to stun to various locations to hopefully dissuade anyone or remove anyone as a threat without killing them if they do get that far. This is Sub-Lieutenant Talora. She's one of my... Well, she's directly under my command as a liaison to Starfleet and a leading scientist. If there is any means of which your station's defenses might be better utilized in a slightly different manner that is non-lethal, I believe between her and myself we'll be able to figure something out, with your permission.
You two can come with me to the command post and advise me. I cannot allow you to have any sort of direct access to our tactical systems. But you will know about these, in theory, vessels more than we do, and the abilities of your Da Vinci. She begins just walking back to her post.
He'll brief instruction to whomsoever magical second is in the security team to go with analyst figure, and they're going where they need to go. And we'll follow CNC1.
It seems we've attracted quite the crowd.
Civilian vessels. Your presence is deemed an existential threat, which causes people to act in a less than rational manner. Understandable, really. Can you share what the basic understanding of your weapons is? As in, the Da Vinci uses phasers, or photons, at various intensities. Or quantum torpedoes. Actually, does the Da Vinci have quantum torpedoes, or does it have just regular? I forget.
The Da Vinci does have quantum torpedoes. Specifically the class, the Obena class was made with quantum torpedoes. To the extent it doesn't actually have photons.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But I just like the very basic principle of what they are, because that's not necessarily a secret. But it's like here's what I can tell you about these, here's the manner I would ask you to tell me about yours, so that I can have a basic understanding of what they are and how they might be otherwise employed, or what the limitations they might, in theory, ships might have when hit with this. Like, oh, if you toned it down by this much, you would disable rather than destroy with more chance, if that makes sense.
She leans over and calls out to an analyst to come up to where you are. She repeats what you told her to him, and he thinks about it, and he said, "What would you want me to do, Command and Control?" Well, can we do what he suggests? Can we do something similar? Well, simply put, we use the Wrath of Heaven cannons. They aren't meant to disable or dissuade ships, they're meant to obliterate them. I suppose if we obliterated parts of the ship that don't have people on them, they'd be disabled in that manner. But none of these systems seem to be designed with it being toned down. This is meant to be an unassailable fortress of heaven. Enforcing, yes, carry on, analysts. Command and Control. Carries on. So no, I don't think we can. If we get into a firefight with these things, we're going to maim them. And given how small they are, I'm not sure how much they can survive even a glancing blow. The only ship present right now, I think, that could take a shot from us is your ship, the Da Vinci.
Very well. I then presume that you have rather advanced and fast targeting systems.
That would be correct. That's my understanding, at least.
Would you believe that this weapon would be able to track and target a incoming nuclear warhead and target that to destroy the missile before impact, thereby rendering their attack impotent and not harming them?
It's possible. We would have to make sure not to overshoot the missile. It would obliterate the missile and just keep going until it hit something.
It's an option, at least.
As long as they don't shoot at us with whatever their main cannons are. Don't seem to have any sort of energy weapon system that I can detect.
They just have like slug throwers on their ships, or what? I don't know what the theory.
Yeah, they have mass drivers.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume the likelihood of tracking and intercepting one of those projectiles is far lower, because that's like a railgun.
Yeah, there's no way we would. If we did fire at them, we would certainly be hitting whoever shot at us.
To that point, deflector really shields typically are designed for energy-based weaponry or to deflect energy-based weaponry, and physical or ballistic projectiles are phased out because they're more or less useless or very inefficient against energy-based shielding. I imagine it would be possible to reinforce such shielding against a specific style of ballistic projectile. Again, I am assuming that you have far advanced technology that would be capable of rendering impacts negligible.
The energy shield system seems to have been damaged because of Type A's rampage, but the armor plating system, much to God's grace, has made it such that we are quite capable of withstanding kinetic attacks rather than energy attacks. So by sheer chance, we seem to be prepared for exactly this. Though I am trying to get the shielding system back to full power. Our staff being limited as much as it is, it's become difficult, and some of my contingent are mentally despairing. A lot of people died today. Have been dying for years now.
If you need additional scientific or engineering input, Sub-Lieutenant Talora is proficient, especially in exotic forms of energy generation, which I would imagine is present on this station. Though that is at your discretion, given you want us seeing as little as possible.
As soon as the shields are back to full, then we'll have everyone being on edge. Very well. I'll have a soldier and an analyst go with yours. Escort them. Make no copies, or you will be slain and crucified for your sins. Makes a dismissive gesture.
Just like home.
Yeah.
Make a gesture for Talora to, head off. Do you have tractor devices, tractor beams, something that would pull a thing in, an object, a vessel?
Not that you would know of. We have more advanced teleportation systems, but we've had no need to hold things in space.
Would it be advanced enough that if a shuttle attempted to board, you could simply move it away?
With our cannons, yes.
With the teleportation technology?
I suppose we could teleport the persons into space.
Not ideal.
No, but...
I mean, not the worst either. In theory, can survive in space just fine.
Oh, that's true.
Like,
They can survive
that
in space.
that actually is a non-lethal way of dealing with an inferior ship.
The problem is they can just float back to their ship if you let them get too close.
Right,
Yeah.
but then you can do it again.
What is the range on this device? Would you be able to, say, put them on the planet?
Certainly.
If they attempt such, then just remove the personnel and place them on the planet.
I suppose that would work.
It is disarming them in a manner that shows them a measure of futility in attempting it, while not killing them.
As that's going on, we cut over to Captain Star Seirana, who is contacting presiding speaker virus, I believe.
Yep, that's my plan. I wanna contact him to update him on everything that's happened. We know what's happened. We don't have to go over that, but I specifically want to ask him for preliminary permission to engage in these negotiations with the Celestial Empire.
It's not normally your role, Captain of Stars, to deal with such matters, but at the moment, I don't think we have the time to wait for the various mechanisms of our solidarity to be moved to your position. Tread carefully, and bring what solidarity you can to these aliens.
Thank you, Presiding Speaker. Your permission was all I needed. I will attempt to get us the best arrangement I can, and hopefully that will lower tensions a bit. If not, well, we've tried our best.
Captain of Stars, if I thought you unqualified or unable to perform, I would order you to stay out of it. You can do this. Think if you can't think of anything within your own experience, think upon your last connection to the Great Slime and to the wisdom of those who have gone before you. It's in you. You can do this.
You, sir. Thank you. And she'll kind of look away for a moment and look back and say, I hope to make you and our people proud. And then she'll cut the comm and march out with renewed confidence.
On the bridge, Rear Admiral Penn steps aboard. Admiral on deck, someone calls out.
Yeah, Admiral on deck.
That's very much a thing where everyone on bridge, because this hydraulic ship, snaps to a standing position as
Yeah.
everyone comes on deck.
At ease. Give me a rundown.
Yes, sir. And Captain Frolic will give Admiral Pend a situation to date status report.
It's too many, too many.
That's not good.
No, it's really not. I'm concerned.
Wait, what just happened? Guessing threat being put on the board.
Yeah,
Threat
it was threat dump.
Oh no.
I know. Shocking. Unbelievable.
Listen, I'm trying to find means to be like, here's what are your non-lethal options here? I'm trying.
I mean, you have found a non-lethal option.
Captain, new
what?
sensor contact. Energy surge on the station. We've just lost signal with Sub-Lieutenant Talora. Some sort of explosion in her area. Captain, that thing's powering up. It's cannons.
This is Captain Throlic to CNC and Centurion Rylov. Report.
As we cut over to there, CNC1 is furious and is demanding to know what the hell is going on, who's powering on those cannons, what was that explosion, and there's a fair amount of confusion among some of the Harbingers as they're trying to catch up, and you realize, Rob, this place is woefully undermanned. That's why they got caught off guard like this. Forget the rest of it. Focus on the explosion. Never mind the rest of the ships. What happened?
So wait, it's woefully undermanned. That's why explosion happened, or
That's why they don't know what's happened. Like normally on a starship, you would find out fairly quickly what happened, or who was there, who wasn't there. But you've observed that this is a station that should be staffed with thousands, and it's staffed with hundreds.
yeah.
And even then, there's like 19 people here, and none of them are command staff.
CNC, as much as you would like me to stay out of it, I think I should look at this. I should help you by looking at the systems to try and track down whatever the hell just happened. If you need to wipe my mind afterwards, then we can talk about that later.
Centurion 1, on that station down there. Get connected. People look at it and say, look, they start arguing, and then she just glares at them, and they're like, and they go back to what they were doing as she's figuring out what's happened.
Yep. And I imagine it's like weird as hell language, like, yeah, we'll figure this out.
Thankfully, there's a debrief from Kovic, so you're able to get it into the library of languages that the Federation knows.
Yep.
So I say, is this going to turn into a Super Sentai with Centaurians 1 through 5?
Do not clone me
By
for your
your
uses.
command.
Yeah.
As you get up to the system and you're able to vocal command it to try to calibrate it to something usable, eventually the computer just produces a some sort of spike from its console and a wire that seems to dangle away from it. Please insert neural link.
Have a connection point for that. I'm guessing it doesn't even look like it needs a connection point. It looks like it's just a stabbing thing, isn't it?
Yeah. You see a display of your brain and head, and you see where it wants you to jab it.
Oh.
Gives a little graphic on how forceful you should be.
Yeah.
Various warnings of do not miss, please be accurate.
You're welcome, Drolic. He'll
Yeah.
the value of will do anything for the few I trust. Seems
Thanks
to
for
be
stabbing
appropriate here.
yourself,
Like,
buddy.
yeah, he'll go ahead. I'm guessing that's a roll, probably a medical one, if I had to guess.
Fitness plus medical, difficulty 3.
Shocking.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I've got a 12, which isn't horrific. I have no medical focuses. Precautions I can and can't see. I don't imagine there's anything being shown unless there's a precaution he can follow on the thing, but that's something else.
For 2 momentum, that will apply, as it may realize what it may go that extra step further for the alien.
We have
Sure.
momentum.
It gives me a focus that I can use on a 2. But
Yeah.
a focus is a focus, and
It's almost like the computer sensed that you needed this extra information.
The
Yeah.
idea of it reading my mind is troubling.
Hmm?
It is.
Would it make you feel better if it was
Well,
reading your soul? Don't worry about
No.
it.
Assist and protect. Assist, protect, and build relations.
Yeah.
Somehow seems relevant.
I trigger methodical planning on this roll, Cham.
You did send Ryloff over there to help, right?
Yes, and with a clear, like, this, maybe not stabbing himself in the brain levels of pre-planning, but like, do what you can to assist over there and keep the situation under control.
Yeah.
All right.
The measure of responsibility of keeping the station secure and also non-lethal is at your behest.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that didn't work, I'm sure. I mean, the value that I'm using to do it or justifying to do this in the first place would surely apply. We'll give you 1 and 1, just because I want to pause it, but I also want to make momentum on this if I'm doing it.
Yeah, fair.
We've made 1, and
Right.
I don't keep it.
Here is assist. You do get to re-roll a die there if you want, though, because of advisor.
Is the station assisting as well? Question mark, or no?
Yep, it helps.
Okay, I was like, I'm not sure if that would actually be a thing, so I'll ask. Yeah, well, no.
And I'm going to re-roll my assist die as well, using my talent.
Good
All right.
lord. Okay.
I
So-
succeed.
Make 3 on that, which is what was spent.
Yeah, we make 3 plus we generate a float.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
as
a
you-
float on the table.
when you jam this thing into your head, it frighteningly penetrates with ease, like as if your skull was of no consequence. And then it stops at the point where you hit it, and then you can feel some movement coming from the attachment, and you can see that the graphics letting you know that it's spreading. It's liquefying after the penetration. It liquefies the point, and then it starts binding itself to your brain. It becomes the neural link. You have a distinct sensation of the color yellow for a bit, and then that eventually fades. And you are now neurally linked to that particular station.
On the positive end, you don't have pain receptors in your brain.
Thanks. On the way to the brain, you do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything to spend the float on for that, because it's like relevant to stabbing yourself in the head.
Few
I would
things are,
guess
as it
this
turns
thing is-
out.
Few things are.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that this is a two-way link, and that much would be apparent just by the fact that it's going on. Is this
Yeah.
actively taking in, like, does the feeling or sensation come that it's actively, like, taking things, or is it only using what he brings up as the momentum question? Like, is the link just taking everything and adding that as a whole, or is it only taking what he presents it.
This is basically your control mechanism. It's just that this is far faster than you verbally trying to talk the computer around to what you need, and the computer realized that you were far too slow. So it's like, no, I do this, and now you're basically linked to that. You have a two-way awareness. Like, you're very aware of everything the system knows. It's very aware of everything that you know that's relevant to what it's doing. It knows not to dig at stuff it doesn't need to know, because that would just slow it down.
Okay.
But you do feel a buffet, like you can't, almost like there's a single corridor of information, and there's much more of a building around you, but you can't go there because there's literal walls in the way. So
Okay. So
and actually, I will note that you are not aware of your immediate. You are vaguely aware of your actual physical surroundings, but you're more aware of them through the system.
Oh, that's disconcerting. And was that the momentum spent for that?
Yes,
or was that
it
just
was.
Elaboration? Yep. Okay. Lovely. Good to know. Okay. Well, that's step one, I suppose. Establishing what happened.
For momentum, I'll answer that.
Sure.
It would seem that one of the station personnel, a 3-person team, remained behind in that system, and they were trying to. It looks like they're trying to connect into the weapons. They've connected, through the shield system into the weaponry system, and are trying to override the weaponry system from there. However, Tal'Ora, along with their escort, stepped into that room while they were doing that. And they were ambushed, and the team was basically overwhelmed because they were an analyst and a soldier with a scientist.
I mean,
she did her best.
Laura?
Yeah, she managed to wing a couple of them, but these things are death machines. So
I also presume a disruptor isn't the most effective of weapons against them.
No,
but we can pass that to CNC 1. Of you have rogue elements within the station still, but priority for him at this present time would be to counter their override, because we don't want the weapon firing.
Yes, exploding. As it looks like you notice that the weapon system is about to fire at all unworthy craft, which is basically every spaceship that's in the star system that isn't the station.
Let's sincerely hope that these people are as linear as they appear to be, and that instructions from the command deck will absolutely just hamstring whatever the hell they're trying to do. That's what we're going to try.
You have an extended task with only so many cracks of the can. If you don't do it in time, lots of damage is coming out to people.
Don't worry, I'm reliable.
Yeah.
Now, if this is at all paraphrasing that one trait where you're linked into the station, if the station takes breaches, don't I take injuries?
Oh, yes, definitely. That's why no one else is plugged in.
Wonderful.
I was thinking about that when doing this. Though I presume this is making the roll easier than it would be if not plugged in at all.
Yeah.
By likely a substantial amount. Oh god.
Work 15, magnitude 5. Resistance is only 1 because you're plugged in. You have 5 attempts. You would have had less attempts if you weren't plugged in. Daring or insight plus security.
Okay, daring or insight plus security. Just as a callback to ask if it's appropriate first, self-righteous, which I've got internal security written down, as well as weapons engineering. Self-righteous being said title.
Say again,
It was
sorry?
a while ago. Self-righteous, episode Self-righteous, which I have written internal security and weapons engineering.
Oh, yeah.
Which seem relevant somehow to the current situation. Because I feel like having a determination available is prudent.
Yeah.
That said, I have a focus in tactical systems.
Yep.
Because Star Navy protocols are sure as hell not going to cut it here. And that'll be amusing to see how similar they are. I don't imagine any of the mental resilience traits or subtlety traits are helpful or harmful here.
You have subtlety, wasn't it?
Subtle.
Subtle will help because they might not notice you're interfering.
Okay.
Magnitude. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Difficulty. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't write. Did I not type in?
You didn't?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Diff 5. Sorry. Wait. What? That'll work. Whatever. Oh yes, you can reduce difficulty or resistance by 1.
Difficulty, please.
Yeah.
Lovely. Mistrusting Klingons will have no harm here because they're not Klingons.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It is.
Okay, what we will do then is, this is the first one, we want to nail it. Value either the directive that we just used, or I've already done that, so I don't need to do it again. One, you can't sit around and wait for help.
That one I would take, yeah.
Yeah, because we're not getting other harbingers down there to resolve the situation that way. It's, I'm here now.
Yeah.
Whatever CNC does with the information she's been given, that's up to her at this point. He's focusing on this. And I'm sure is not aware of anything she's doing because of the link.
Yeah, the most she says to you across it is resolve situation.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll use that determination there, and we will give you. It would be 3 threat, but I'm going to do a thing. You do get 3 threat. That's tragic, and then the other
Tragic.
2 would be momentum. Isn't it always a shame when it works like that? I rolled fitness medicine again instead of daring security because I am a genius. However, those 2 misses were still misses, and those were both accurate hits. What the hell?
GM, I'd like to proc methodical planning here
Yeah.
again. Cool.
And oh, that's 2 rerolls.
Rylov, you gain Scrutinize 2 or Progression 1 on your challenge dice.
Lovely. And that was a security roll with a threat spend, so that's a reroll, and you offer a reroll. So
I also offer a reroll, yeah.
let me actually roll security this time.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8.
Plus a bonus die. Or a bonus, not that die, bonus momentum. But that doesn't really
So
matter.
8 on 4. Yeah, so
Yeah, 8 on 4.
make 5.
You owe me 6 challenge dice.
I presume you probably want Progression 1 here.
Yeah, that seems like the appropriate one,
Yeah.
right? Because the other one's piercing. We
That
don't need
one's,
much
yeah.
piercing.
Scrutinize 2 is effective piercing, and Progression 1 is effective vicious.
Gotcha.
Like
And this,
that.
that isn't a reroll. That is my determination, which I get back.
2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Minus 1 is still 7. That is 1 magnitude.
Yeah, we've got. Oh my god, we've got float. Okay.
We have 3 float. Yeah.
Which might as well just be damage.
You could reroll 2 dice because you have vicious 1. It might end up being better.
You're right. We'll reroll 2 with 1 of the float just in case. It's 1.
Which is the same as spending it.
It's the same as the other way, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
just extra whammy on that.
Extra
Actually, how
two
much
more.
whammy is
8.
that?
That puts you up to 10 so far.
10.
10 to 15 if you spend these 2.
If we spend these 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we spend those 2, that would be 10 out of 15.
Do we
I'm
want to do that?
considering the funny of just spending the other 5
Just
to get it to
windmill
15
slam.
works.
Yeah. You could do that. Crack a second magnitude.
Because then he can't claw back the work, can he?
I can. It's just expensive.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, yeah, we'll do that then. Make it
Cool.
expensive.
So spend 5. Crack magnitude, or crack
Yes.
work track. Spend another magnitude.
Yes.
Yep. 2 magnitude. 1, 2, 3,
Like, it's
4,
expensive
5,
to do
6,
that,
7, 8,
but
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have to overkill because I can't spend less. Claw back all the work because obviously the people doing this want to succeed, so they're actively trying to stop you.
Sure.
yes, but
And I'll spend to pull the difficulty from 4 up to 5.
actually, wouldn't it have gone down because of the magnitude we hit?
Sorry,
Is that
3
how
to up
that
to 5,
works?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've gone
Which then-
down twice, yeah. So I have to spend
Yeah.
these last 2 to keep it at 5. You're right.
Which then goes down to 4 because of the trade. Right? Or is this
Yep.
accounting for the trade?
This is not counting the trade. This is just base.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I'm not in any way trying to scam you
Yeah,
accidentally.
yeah.
Okay. And I got the determination back, so we'll spend it again. And it's the Declaration of Gallantry that does that. No, it isn't. It's the citation. Sorry. I have the citation still. I have 2 citations. We'll use the second citation. You get 4. I mean, I should have rolled 5, not 6, because I'm using a determination, but that's me being a smartass. Smartass, dumbass. Wrong kind of ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then we'll roll the 4.
Test.
Let me read a thing to make sure that I am. Yeah. Okay, and then I've got 2 rerolls, so I can just the 1. Do I
Yep.
fish?
I don't
Probably
think so.
not. Yes?
Yeah.
You think?
I don't think you fish here.
Okay. It's still 2.
Because you're already generating
4,
momentum on it.
6. Yeah. So what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What was our difficulty?
4,
4.
effectively.
Okay. 2. So we generate 4 momentum plus a float.
Roll me 4. 6 challenge dice.
Ooh, that is
4.
not amazing.
Yeah.
I think we're spending 1 to reroll 4. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Frolic, but that seems like
I
the
think
play.
you should, yeah.
3, 4. That puts you to 7 of 15. That's definitely a magnitude. That was your second attempt.
9. Okay, so that's 9 goes to 8.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we're
Second
fine just
attempt.
leaving that second attempt there because
Yeah,
I
second
don't need
attempt
to-
brought another mag down.
'cause I'm
so.
ahead of the clock at the time.
So that should put
Unless
us
I'm
to mag 2.
Oh, if you're
I'm
spending
sorry.
back up again?
No.
No, it should be mag 2 on its own because we reduced magnitude by 2 in the last roll.
No, I'm counting up. You have 3
Oh.
magnitude of 5.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, then we're at 3 of
I
5.
see. We're counting in opposite directions. How annoying.
Okay. Yep.
That's... Oh, are you spending to increase work track again, or no?
No.
Okay.
Because we're ahead of the clock. It doesn't
1, 2, 3,
relevant.
4, 5, 6. I'm not gonna... I'll leave you with 1 work.
Yep.
Difficulty is 1. I'm actually gonna call fair escape for you on this one. I don't see, unless you have horrendous luck, I don't see you biffing this. So
Let me roll
Yep.
my determination die.
see if you get it
real
back at least.
quick.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Aw.
But it served its purpose.
Mhm.
But once
No,
you're
I
able to
mean,
get control of the weapon systems again and you power them down, Command and Control has already sent down soldiers to grab the people who are in there, and there's various other station personnel who are basically sealing them in that room. So they were stuck. Their only option was to try to shoot the guns and hope for the best. There was no escape for them.
Mhm.
At which point they are promptly beaten and disassembled.
I see.
Status on friendly personnel, please.
You feel a tap on your shoulder,
Hmm.
and then you hear Command and Control say, "Remove the link."
He can manage that, I'm assuming.
As you start pulling on it, it reforms back to a spike, and then you feel a slight sizzling sensation on the back of your skull as it closes up the wound behind itself as it retracts.
Hmm.
You smell burning bone for a minute, but you know.
Delightful.
So your senses kind of shock back, and you're back here fully. We have an analyst looking over your sub-lieutenant. Badly injured, but her vitals seem to be still functioning. Recommend we teleport her to your medical facilities rather than keep her here. We're used to cybernetics, not biologics.
Ironically, so is she.
Hmm.
Yes, beam her across, please. Or teleport. Technology is different. I will advise Captain Thralic. As he taps his comm badge. Centurion Rylov to Captain Thralic.
It is Captain Thralic. Go ahead.
They just teleported someone over to us. Oh, it's
Sub-Lieutenant Talora has been injured in an altercation by rogue elements, conducting themselves in a manner fit to guerrilla activities. They have been suspended, and the ship's weapons have been powered down again.
Confirmed. We'll make sure that the sub-lieutenant receives all the care she can.
Acknowledged. That is all from this side of things, Captain.
Very well. We'll inform you when there's change.
I don't think he can enter the call because you outrank him.
Yeah, no, I signal to comms to end the call.
Then he'll just turn and give a nod to CNC.
all right. Let's keep an eye. Come back up here. Let's keep an eye on everything else. I'm gonna keep a roaming patrol to make sure no one else has any brilliant ideas. I've also begun a recount of our personnel.
It is no flaw to be managing as you are when understaffed.
It's a good thing they didn't fire those things. From my console, it looked like they were overpowering the shield grid system through the central core. If they had fired them, they wouldn't have destroyed anything. They would have destroyed the station and anyone who was in close proximity to us.
Perhaps their intent.
They wouldn't want to destroy the kingdom of heaven on purpose. I think desperate analysts overreached their knowledge in hopes of wrathful vengeance of some variety. I don't fault them for their bloodlust, but unhelpful bloodlust is useless to command and control.
It is a current situation you find yourself in where perception of duty is important to specific individuals. I understand. we have adjacent beliefs in some regards.
And then shift the camera one last time back to the bridge of the Da Vinci. The situation, a slight flash forward of time goes by as the situation is a lot of tension, a lot of careful talking, and easy, easing of that incredible tension between all sides. But eventually it gets to a point where the so-called militia starts trickling its way back and away. The attack swarm stays around just to monitor the new station. And for some reason, Commodore Osif sends off the part of his attack swarm that fired the nuke, and puts them on patrol duty and escort duty somewhere not here.
Yeah.
For some reason.
You can be independent over there.
All right. If the situation is de-escalated enough, I would like to propose to the Captain of the Stars that the Kovic and the delegates can take a shuttlecraft over to the Triumph and return to Halanak to make legal proceedings with all the available aperture of the FIS.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would agree to that, and I will run it by the two delegates. I will argue that there'll be a more formal space. You'll have greater access to resources and quick access to the FIS government. Overall, it's a much better, safer location to conduct these operations than a Federation star vessel.
Arguable.
Analysts would say that he would want to have a constant communication link to command and control, because he does need to report in frequently on his activities, and rather than jumping back and forth, he imagines that's inefficient use of your resources. But he's happy with it, and Angela doesn't mind at all. She's willing. She'll go to wherever the court of law may be. She will shout loud the crimes that were done, so on and so on and so on.
How amenable.
Mm-hmm. And then Rear Admiral, is there anything you require from the USS Da Vinci at this moment?
Depending on what you're going to be doing in the system, maybe a final ride back to the station.
I would be more than happy to accommodate the Admiral's request, sir.
I appreciate it, Captain. Maybe a quick word in your ready room?
Of course. And I'll, leave the bridge one more time.
Don't worry, clearly Cham shows up.
Yeah.
And then shoots Thralic several times.
Yeah, it's an inglorious end, but
that would be fitting, honestly. Unsurprising, rather, I should say, than fitting.
Thralic sits down and kind of relaxes slightly from completely rigid posture that she'd had on the bridge. Says, "Sir."
Oh, seems like you've had your handful the last while.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
That's true. It's fun to be active, but I'd like to leave you a gift and a responsibility, if you'd let me.
I'm not sure I have much choice, sir, but yeah.
True, you don't have much choice. I've made a recommendation to Starfleet, and I've put you forward to be the commander of Halanak Station.
Oh, that's a lot of responsibility, Admiral.
It certainly is, especially now that I'm going to retire. Look for Jaishu, and if not, maybe cause some trouble elsewhere in the universe. But I think I'm done, unfortunately.
May I say, sir, it's a well-deserved retirement and a well-deserved rest.
I appreciate it. I'm just no longer able to give the job my everything, as where I believe what you have to offer is what this sector needs right now.
Thank you, sir.
But I won't bore you with all the sappy-dappy emotional stuff. You've got a lot of work ahead of you, and it's not going to be easy.
No, sir. It's been an honor and a journey.
Pendra will stand up and reach a hand out.
And I'll reach over and say, thank you for everything.
Good luck, Shri.
Thank you, Brock. And best of luck on finding Jaishu.
Best of luck for what conflict comes next.
There will always be something.
And Pendra will head out.
And with that, the Da Vinci is able to continue working with the Commodore with the de-escalation. Some staff will be left on station on the Kingdom of Heaven station, at least for now, until a more formal liaison service and some sort of free information sphere delegation can be situated. In time, the Da Vinci is able to carry on and set course back to Halanak Station. And with that, that is the end of the episode. Those watching this after the fact, this is Admiral Penn's last one. So glad to have him with us, and we'll look forward to his future adventure, the player's future adventures in other games and other places. But nice to see him off his executive officer. But previous executive officer, current executive officer, you know what I mean. But anyway.
Previous executive officer.
For all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And I hope to see you all again next time. Bye. So I tried to set off a massive explosion. Send everyone off with a big explosion. Destroy the Da Vinci and everyone else aboard twice. But no. Someone had to spoil the fireworks.
Of course.
A lot of it. You know, I don't think I'm ready for another new ship quite yet.